BSF that we moved from Cadillac to Maple that time because we had to. Pattern Cadillac, and it was Murderer's Row on Maple. They're gonna look like that. I seen some really good kids yesterday struggle early. That first group's the guinea pigs. Everybody gets an opportunity to watch the live stream. And
All right, bowlers, you may hit the start play button on your consoles and begin your tournament play. Good luck.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you back to Kingpin Entertainment Center, a wonderful 16-lane facility in Decorah, Iowa. It's the northern part of the state for you wonderful geography majors. I'll get more into that in just a little bit because I have someone who knows the state of Iowa and its geographical preferences like the back of his hand here in just a moment. But Squad 2 officially underway here at the Iowa Youth High Roller Scholarship Tournament. It is exactly what the name sounds like. High roller, high talent, high opportunity for earnings in the form of scholarships. One young man and one young woman will walk out of here tomorrow afternoon with $10,000 scholarship check and $5,000 scholarship check. And that's not even the full prize fund. Those are just first place opportunities guaranteed. And to talk a little bit more about not only this event, but about youth bowling in general, and then certainly the state, as we welcome in a wonderful individual who's got his first taste of what college bowling is like now as a parent. On the other side, we welcome in Matthew McConaughey to the broadcast today. He's going to be hanging out with us all day long, actually all weekend long now. And we appreciate Matthew and certainly sharing his time. Matthew, always great to see you. Appreciate you hanging out. I know this is an event that you didn't want to miss, and I appreciate you hanging out and coming down.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And yeah, I missed this event last year in its inaugural run. It was prom at home for us, so it was I was kind of tied up there with a senior, but yeah, when you're talking about giving away 15 grand at the top and over $50,000 on the weekend as a guy who used to help run a few of these types of tournaments, not quite to this magnitude, when you see something this special, you want to be a part of it. So I appreciate you letting me come in and hang out and watch some of these kids, and yeah, hopefully provide a little insight to some of the local kids, and you know, some of these kids, it's their first time ever bowling on some of these things that are tough. And then as the day goes on, we are going to see some really talented kids. We are going to see some of the best of the best today.
Squad 2 does feature a few players that we watched last night during Squad 1. So a couple getting some back-to-back squads in. There is the opportunity for players to re-enter squads. There's 4 total qualifying squads. We will have 2 more. The third will be at 1:30 p.m. this afternoon, and the fourth will be tonight at 6:30 p.m. all times Central. One of those players we watched yesterday was Jace Budenberg, and Jace had himself an opportunity to get an automatic qualifying score in the boys division. The top 4, oof. Wow. Saw that a couple times actually on that pair, on 9 and 10 in particular, and not just from Jace, but from a couple other individuals. But Jace was kind of around the top 4 heading into the final game yesterday, and fell a little bit short of an automatic spot. Again, top 4 in each qualifying squad in the boys division advance to the finals. There will be a total of 32 boys who will advance. In the girls division, the leader of each qualifying squad will advance, and then overall they will take the top 12, or I should say the 8 highest remaining pinfall totals to fill out that top 12 in the bracket. Talked about not just players from the state of Iowa, certainly players from other states nationwide, but we also do have some international bowlers as well. At least we have 2, but this is certainly one, as Chase McVicar is over on the right side of your screen with the maple leaf flag sported on the left sleeve of his jersey. Well, shout out to Chase and those making the trip out. Hey, you got a chance to win 5 figures. Right. Come on out.
Chase is actually they don't call it junior team Canada, but their youth
national team.
Yeah, whatever that. Yeah, he is actually a member of that, which I thought was pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. He's got MJBT on the other side of his jersey there, so he makes the border crossings evidently somewhat regular.
Well, I watched his first shot of practice and went, oh, okay, I get it.
Right.
I see what Chase is here. The shot there from Brock. Brock bowled yesterday. Jace bowled yesterday. I believe Austin Olderog is signed up for at least 3 of the 4 squads and maybe all 4. And I've seen Austin bowl a ton. And not just in the state of Iowa.
Yes, he is, obviously my background a little bit, helping run some of the stuff in the Waterloo, Cedar Falls, Cedar Valley area. Austin came up and bowled a lot of stuff with us. Whether it was a 5-game sweeper for a junior gold qualifier or our big Midwest Youth main event that we ran 3 seasons in a row. So very familiar with Austin and the opportunity to watch him grow, not only physically but just as a player too. It's pretty exciting to see a lot of these kids just continue to grow up and get better. Mari Feuerhelm on lane 9 there is another example of that. A local kid here from Decorah signed with Mount Mercy to go there in the fall.
Is that right?
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah, Andy's going to be very excited, I think, to have Mari on that group. I got to watch her bowl at the state tournament just a little bit in the both individual and team 2A portion here in the state of Iowa, and talk about a gritty competitor. Kind of interesting, just from looking at the pairings. This is 1, 2, and 3 from 2A individual girls high school state this season. Emily Whitehead from Clinton, she was the champion. Kiara Kruger, I know, bowled yesterday. She finished 3rd, and Mari finished 2nd. So kind of a familiar pairing for these 3, so to speak.
How about that?
They must have let. I don't know if they allowed. If Brandon took the lane pairings to, you could kind of choose who you wanted to cross with or not. I'm not sure if that's a thing. I know some events will allow you to do that. It's kind of neat that, you had talked about Chase being international. Avery Wilson's also from our neighbors to the north, and they're bowling together. So I wondered if that was kind of a thing with the pairings.
Well, let's see if need to pull up my lane assignment sheet. And if you have any questions, folks, feel free to drop those in the chat. I'm covering lanes 5 through 12. And the bottom right of your screen right now is 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we'll take a look at that group probably about the halfway point. And we'll check in on a player, at least one player for sure in Rushdeen. You can see him. He did not start well yesterday, but he ended phenomenally. And he did earn a spot into the finals automatically yesterday by his performance later in the block. But curious just from the pattern to pattern, the day-to-day, the consistent strip and re-oils of a lane pattern for those who may know or even may not know. Generally speaking, the more times the lane condition is applied as the lane machine runs, it's stripping oil and then reapplying that lane condition, the pattern tends to play truer each time out. So theoretically, every time out, it should actually get harder. And so I do anticipate it to get a little more tricky, or trickier, if you will, throughout the day, including even when we get to tonight. Some of that can be bypassed, though, to some degree, respectfully, with talent. And the higher the talent level, the more tricks players tend to have to kind of make their transition on the fresh a little bit smoother.
Sure, absolutely. I was watching some of the Tournament of Champions on Bowl TV this week, and getting the opportunity to listen to Jim Callahan as one of the smartest guys in the industry is really interesting. As a nerd that wants to learn more and understand better is pretty cool. He made the comment, and I had never thought about it this way, but the more times the lane machine goes down the lane and the house memory starts to go away, it feels like lanes get tighter. They get tighter down lane. And he said, that's really not necessarily the case they get tighter. It's that the true memory of the pattern starts to elevate. So actually the ball just hooks earlier, so it looks like it's tighter, when in reality the back ends haven't changed an iota. It's really the bowling ball getting to the back end that has changed. So I had never really thought about it that way from a front to back standpoint, and that was kind of interesting to me.
Which makes sense with the aspect of if your ball is hooking earlier, it's losing energy faster.
Yes.
Down lane, which then could give the illusion, as you were just referencing in that example, that it is indeed tighter.
Oh, look at this.
Well, that's a nice way to make that. I can't remember the player I mentioned yesterday. I think it was Kylie. It was Kylie Cook.
Kylie Cook, sure.
And I said, I'm going to follow her career after watching her bowl. And, in a couple years, she's going to Highland Community College.
Hawkeye Community College. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
With Roger Taylor.
Yes.
And I said, okay, I'm going to watch the 2 years, and then she's going to, assumedly, go to a 4-year and transfer. Because I think she could be one of the best, not only bowlers, but certainly lefties in college bowling in a couple years. And when you said Mari here is going to Mount Mercy, I'm going, all right, I'm going to give her a couple more years, and then I'm going to probably be saying something similar about her.
I could see Mari very much of a Chloe Day type scenario, to where when Chloe came to Mount Mercy 4 years ago, she was on the development team. She wasn't really even projected to be one of those varsity style players. I mean, Mount Mercy is one of those groups that just kind of tends to reload. They don't ever rebuild, right? And so I could definitely see, just understanding kind of Mari's tenacity, I could very much see her with the drive to continue to perform and continue to improve and be that upperclassman at some point in time on what is always a formidable national championship style team. Kylie is of kind of that same ilk. Physically, she has changed a lot over the last couple of seasons. I've gotten to know Kylie pretty well over the last couple of years, being from Cedar Rapids and bowling a lot of the similar stuff of the stuff we ran up in the Cedar Valley. And just getting to watch her improve and to look at her 2 years ago, then to look at her now, has been a huge amount of change. And I could see Roger absolutely working with her a lot. And again, that gamer mentality, right? When things get tough, she just gets more determined. It doesn't get more frustrating, which is cool to see and evident in her third place finish this season at Iowa High School State in Class 3A. She had to battle a lot to get to where she got to, and even to make the ladder or to make the bracket was a tough deal this year in 3A girls for sure.
Take a few moments here to share or see if we have some of our players in our live stream bios. Thank you to all the athletes and maybe some parents who maybe encouraged their young athletes to fill out the bio.
No, all of these kids filled them out independently without solicitation, I promise.
Been doing this for a long time, so I always know to give a parent shout out. Certainly not just for a live stream bio, but for the transportation and getting up early, the early mornings, the late nights, and the miles traveled. I mentioned yesterday one of the cool things so far has been watching a lot of the young Decorah High School athletes compete in these first couple of squads. And they are back at it doing their thing here this morning.
Yeah, pretty, I don't want to say storied program for the state of Iowa from a high school standpoint, but definitely, state qualifiers the last few years in Class 2A, boys and girls. Like I say, speaking about Mari, she was in the individual finals this season. They had a couple other girls that had really good years. I believe Jace is a member of that group as well.
He is.
For the boys. Admittedly, I don't know the boys groups quite as well as I know the girls. Unfortunately, in the state of Iowa, the boys and girls bowl at the exact same time all the time. So obviously, if you know me, having a daughter, I was a little more invested in the girls than I was the boys. But when you get the opportunity, oh, I thought she was going to run that down. You get the opportunity to see great talent. The line I like to use is body language doesn't whisper, it screams, and that's from a talent standpoint too. When you see somebody go from point A to point B the right way and get it off their hand the right way, it's not always indicative of score, but those are the people that you want to try to follow.
We'll go over yesterday's standings too real quick, just to give you an update again on who has advanced and earned spots already into the finals tomorrow. And we'll get into, of course, the formats for tomorrow as well. Also, if you have a player who is bowling and you're trying to find them, basically for this squad, it'll change a little bit this afternoon. The final two spots today are full, so lanes 13 through 16 will be in use. But if your bowler gets to 3 and 4, it's the only time this morning that they will not be on camera. Every other time they'll be on 5 through 12, and they'll be either on the main screen or big screen, if you will, or in our picture-in-picture. All right, good shot there for Ms. Kruger, who was in the mix for the automatic spot. She was leading for a couple of games already here. Avery Wilson, she's showing that she certainly got the game to lead this squad today.
Yeah, I think competitively it's a big advantage to bowl this squad in particular. A couple of different reasons. It's only the second iteration of the lane pattern going down. It's early in here, so the building isn't really warm yet, which hopefully will make the pattern feel a little less flat. And then from a competitor standpoint, there isn't a whole lot of kids. I think this is the smallest squad of the four. Mm-hmm. So having that opportunity to chase that for the boys top 4, girls top 1, so for the girls it's loaded, but there's only 6 of them. So your level of opportunity and it just goes up significantly, especially when they're this difficult, where a hit or 2 can be super, super important, especially in a sprint like this, only 5 games. Brings a little more luck involved, I think.
Nice message. Don't want to assume, but someone from Brooklyn Cruz, who bowled yesterday, she's got a very bright future. Just an 8th grader, a couple of 8th graders bowling yesterday. Nice message posted about just her performance, I think, from her dad. And, it's always nice to see that kind of thing. And the parents understand, right, that where their player is, and then kind of in relation to this type of tournament, this level of talent, when you take a step up like that, and to watch your son or daughter hold their own is just a different feeling. I'm starting to understand that a little bit more, though my kids are still young, but I watched them play soccer for the first time in an actual game, and I immediately understood what it was like for parents and my own parents to watch me compete or do whatever. It's a completely different feeling, and I was just a different person for 45 minutes.
Yes. And fortunately or unfortunately, that at your little guys' age, that's still in the herding cats moment.
Correct.
To where I go where the ball goes.
Yes.
And if I'm just not interested in being here, then I'm just going to camp out over here and just do my thing. Like, I don't need anybody to help me have fun. I'm going to do it over here.
That's a great description of what I watched.
Brings back the T-ball days of, and don't blink either. Those moments go fast. That I always thought that was kind of hokey as when I was a young parent. Now I'm a less young parent, and it's definitely true. I mean, shoot, the first year of college bowling's already done, and you know, I looked at the schedule thinking, man, they go from October all the way to the middle of April, and now I look back and I'm like, man, that was really fast. Like, it's crazy that it's already done. So
take a look at the other side of the wall, basically, and that is what kind of separates the lanes here at Kingpin. There's a side of 1 through 8, which is what's on your screen currently. On the right side of that wall, on the right of your screen, sits a couple of pool tables, a couple of high top tables, a wall that is an ode, kind of a dedication to the Decorah High School bowling programs, with several team photos over the course of a few years, some state champion banners and qualifier banners, an air hockey table, a couple other games, and then we go over to lane 9. So it's a pretty cool setup, and there's like a spot for every consumer, right? You could be bowling, you could be in that middle spot, you could be in the actual arcade, you could be in the back right eating, you could be in the back far right in the golf simulator, you could be in the event space, which is in the like near lane 16 on the other side of that wall.
I have to imagine that the college kids from Luther College is here in Decorah. It's a small D3 school, good sports programs. I can't imagine that their student body just doesn't wear this place out. Seriously, I was telling Brandon this morning, I mean, this is only an hour and a half from home for me, but I had never had the opportunity to come up here. I know that the proprietors at home, Rich, Amy, Ryan Wilson, they helped with a little bit of the design work and things of that nature when this was built. Quentin Bolin, I believe he's the GM here. He's an established PBA member. You know, obviously a player's facility, right? When you go in the paddock and there's water and snacks and stuff for the competitors and stuff. I mean, it's definitely a professional style feel, but the space. I mean, this in a little town like this. I say little town. I don't know how many people Decorah has. Maybe, I don't know, 8,000-10,000 people maybe. But to have a place where you can go and do things like this, that's pretty awesome. To have golf simulators and air hockey, and like you say, if you want to go in and have a drink or two and watch a ball game, this center section is really, really cool. There's a handful of TVs in there. It's really, really, really nice space, and definitely I believe an asset to the community for sure. Pretty cool.
On the bottom right of your screen, Chase Vicar has put together a double, and I was wondering if someone was going to figure out a way to play the gutter, and especially after watching Rush Steen and not go front to back on the gutter, but utilize the gutter to some degree, like 2, 3, 4 as a breakpoint perspective. Then I'm watching young Jackson here on the full screen, and Jackson's going to be in the 220s, and he is put together. I'm going to pay closer attention to where he is laying the ball down and his break point. But there's 2 Jacksons, by the way, on your screen. Jackson Dias on the left. So he's gotten a little loft and getting into the gutter, right?
Don't sleep on him either. He just bowled a regional, like adult regional, not all that long ago in the Houston area. He's from Arkansas. He's a heck of a player.
Well, his loft let me know, right? He's already pulling out some tricks.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So he is trying to bypass the front part of the lane. He probably watched yesterday, and he's coming back to me now. I watched him practice a little bit after bowling was over on a pair that was not used over on 15 and 16, just getting some preparation for this morning. And, you know, so I'm guessing, right? He probably watched a little bit. He saw what Rush was doing.
You bet. You bet. That's what the great ones do, right? That's what the great ones do. Your eyes can teach you so much. Rush is that looks like a gem. That's a pretty big ball.
He used something similar. I can't say it was the exact same ball, but it had a similar color scheme yesterday. But it's interesting, like, because there is hook on the gunner.
Yes.
It is there. It's just how can you get there, and how can you use it? Because if you get it there too quick, you can either miss completely.
That's not a gem. I lied. I'm not sure what that is. It's got too much. No, that's a spare ball. It is a gem. I can see it on the ball return now. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there.
Oh, you're all good.
Skinny jeans right there per Randy Peterson.
Well, buddy, better start of the day for Rush. Putting some of that knowledge to use already. And I think overall his pair, right? I mean, we got 202, we've got 220. Rush going to be in the 180s with a good count. And then still an opportunity at 217 down there for Carly, who had real good control of the pocket yesterday. Speaking of Carly, she was solid to watch.
Another Decorah kid. Yep, another Decorah kid. Again, a fantastic player.
Chase is going to be up. We'll go full screen for Chase here in a moment. Rush is giving a different try on a fill ball here. Over to Chase right at your screen. And unfortunately a washout. Wonder what Chase is throwing. Scoring pace a little bit lower here on these particular pairs to start early on. Young Laurel Peters, when Laurel was able to kind of keep it in front of her yesterday, she did not miss the pocket. Had a couple of miscues, a couple that got away from her, but you can tell that the talent is there.
Laurel's actually from Waterloo, Cedar Falls. She bowls for Columbus Catholic High School in Waterloo, so I'm a little bit familiar with Laurel. And a younger kid, though, I mean, just really started to kind of get competitive in the last year or two, I would say. Been a league player for a little while, but really starting to kind of spread her wings into some more of these, bigger events, trying to qualify for junior gold, different things like that. So really starting to understand what competitive bowling is all about, and learning the sport versus the game, I guess is the way I'll put that.
That's a nice touch on that. Way to go. It's a good solid start for young Carly. 193. Look at young Hunter Steimel, and I call him young because the last time I saw him, and I was talking to his mom, Kelly, yesterday about, when he was bowling the Midwest Youth main event, which is a tournament, of course, that you and your wonderful group ran for a couple years. He was still fresh into bowling.
Yes.
But now he looks like, he's not yet a seasoned pro, obviously, but in comparison, I mean, his acceleration rate of improvement.
He has had an amazing season. I mean, he went from like you say, a very young and less established. And the other thing with Hunter is he has gotten bigger. Like, he has just gotten stronger. He's going from that freshman body to that sophomore body where boys tend to mature pretty quickly, and just getting physically stronger. And you can really see that in his game now. I mean, he brings a lot of power. And I don't think he still has a good understanding of how to harness that power yet. Once he figures out what to do with it, I think he could be really, really special. I really, really do. He's still a 15-year-old knucklehead, if you ask me, and I'll tell him that too. I know Hunter and his family real well, and that they're really, really good folks. And like I say, he's another one. He was a baseball kid, has really kind of transitioned into doing more. But bowling is taking the front seat versus baseball taking the front seat. So I'm really excited to see what he accomplishes over the next couple of years if he continues to have that hunger and desire for the yearn to continue to grow and get better. Because at the end of the day, that's really all it is ever, right? I mean, you have to want it. It can't be somebody wanting it for you. You have to internalize it and want to be better. And as he continues to do that, sky's the limit for a lot of these kids, honestly. You know, if they have the desire, I think the parents and the coaches that they work with are going to do their jobs and help remove the obstacles and allow them to flourish. And if you got the intestinal fortitude, you can do amazing things.
For the most part, and everybody's situation is different, but generally speaking, if the athlete shows the interest and intent, then of course those around said athlete will do what they have to do and move every building, boulder, whatever they got to do to try to help that young person be as successful as possible.
Yes. And to your point, every situation is different, and if you have the means and the resources to see those that don't and the ability to help, then, you know, if you can't find a good person, be a good person. And that's kind of a good mantra to live by. I mean, we're early in the soapbox for life lessons. But
that was a nice gym early at 9:10 a.m. Central Time.
You know, it's just if you can be genuine and like I say, always, you never know what somebody's walking around with. Help them out best you can.
I'm going to ask you to throw your coach's hat on.
Okay.
At this point, and real quickly, what stands out to you about this lane condition that the players are trying to battle?
No buff. There's no taper off the end, so I think that's probably causing some of the, you know, you want to get the ball to 8, 9, 10, or at least that's what it looked like yesterday. I think you can play farther right than that actually. A lot of league kids, a league mentality yesterday. I think, you know, we throw it at second arrow, and when it hooks, we move left, and when it doesn't hook, we move right. But with if you're using the theory of 31, you're going to try to get the ball 8, 9, 10. Barnes argues with that a little bit, so you're probably looking at 5, 6, 7.
I've heard a couple other people starting to, take into account basically like inflation.
Sure.
All right. Taking in today's bowling world, inflation would be higher rev rates and stronger bowling balls.
Rev rates and surface, yeah. Yep, for sure. We kind of talked about it a little bit before we started, and nobody really jumped on top of the hang yesterday. Like, nobody got right and jumped right on top of it. So I would be interested to see something short pin, maybe not a crazy amount of surface. I could see a light 500, a really good fresh 1,000 to get the ball to read but not overreact. At the same time, I could see kind of using the middle part of the lane to create some hold where maybe there isn't any inherently. You could use something hybrid, maybe a little bit smoother to where you could almost get in and for the righties kind of throw it at the 3-pin without getting too steep, as long as you're comfortable with that, because as soon as you get a little too far right, you get the wiggle, and now you put 0 in play. And you're looking at 15 to 9, and you might get 0. I didn't think that was possible till watching college bowling this season, but it's a thing. So I guess those are kind of the two things we're seeing. Chase, we've seen Rush a little bit be able to get it off the 2-3, you know, and getting it there with some lower RG bowling balls. So I think the nice thing with 40 foot is there's a lot of ways to get there, and when they're this tough, how do you leave something makeable and then go make it? If the plastic ball works today, you got a really good opportunity to bowl tomorrow. That's really what it boils down to. Control what you can control. Hit the one in the front. That's a good finish for Hunter. That's a good 10-pin there. But yeah, hit the one closest to you every time today, and you're probably going to be pretty successful.
Heck of a start for Hunter Steimel. 246 out the gates, and young man showed a lot of promise yesterday. He actually had the front 6. I think it was game 4. On 11 and 12, also finished it with a 242 in that particular game. For those who were watching 11 and 12, that group is going to 3 and 4, so they will be off camera for 1 game. I know I'm sure Chase had some folks watching and even share the live stream this morning, which we appreciate. I appreciate that on behalf of Bowl-Stream TV. So if you haven't already, if you wouldn't mind to hit the thumbs up for me on this video if you are able to do that. You might have it on. You might be cooking breakfast at this point. I just have it on in the background. But if you get back to it, hit that thumbs up. And then also subscribe to Bowl-Stream TV as well. and that'll keep you updated on every event that we go live to throughout the rest of the year. I'm happy Matthew is here because I'm gonna ask him. Well, since we got a little time, I'm gonna ask him what are some of the favorite if you watch, and this is because I already know you watch, but the types of bowling content that you consume, because I am more or less creating a list of things that I may try to begin creating to supplement the channel when I am not live streaming.
I mean, I love watching tournament bowling. I also, maybe I'm a little different in this, but I also want to learn. Like, the more information I can consume, the better. And I don't want to just say information. I want quality information,
sure.
I guess. I don't want to, not to say that it wouldn't be enjoyable to watch me do a live stream, but I'm not a very smart guy. Like, I don't want to watch me. Like, I want to watch somebody that's knowledgeable in the industry, and whether that's and maybe this is right up your alley. We might workshop this all day. But you know, your
it's a whiteboard opportunity.
Yes, I love it, and we got plenty of time. But a U.S. Open style event today.
Maybe I shouldn't say
all
it. Maybe we shouldn't say it on the air so no one does.
Oh,
I know, but I'm
fair
curious.
point. I can't get a cut of this if I do, but no, I'm seasoned. But just the iteration of collegiate bowling, and like how can you go from a youth to be successful? There's lots of there's some of the different recruiting agencies, I'll call
sure.
them now, and things, and you can have your opinion on those, and how you get recruited in college or in high school bowling is so much different than a lot of other sports.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But really just kind of understanding the alphabet soup of collegiate bowling. I know you and Savannah were talking a little bit yesterday, you know, NCAA, NJCAA, NAIA, USBC, club, like there's so many different iterations that, like, Iowa is blessed with a number of collegiate programs, but so many people don't understand like how they all work together, you know, and what level is what, and well, you don't ever bowl these guys and you don't ever see this, and you know, just different things like that. I think that would be a huge benefit to, especially with the amount of talent and the amount of kids that are bowling now. I mean, it's one of the fastest growing participatory sports in the country, and there's so many opportunities for kids to bowl collegiately. I mean, if you're a girl and you want to go to college and you want to bowl, like if you have a desire to, there's a home for you. And so many kids don't know that. Like, they might not even see it's an opportunity. You know, I guess as a leader just in life,
Mm-hmm.
like helping people see what they don't see in themselves and seeing places that they don't understand that they can go. I think that there needs to be a roadmap for that, and I don't know who creates it. Maybe you're the guy, which would be amazing. You're the amount of information you have from a collegiate standpoint, being a former player and a current broadcaster of collegiate bowling and those types of things. I think that's you have a wealth of information that I think can be shared in a number of different ways.
You know, you wouldn't be the first person to just kind of bring it up from that particular ideal, right? Because there is a ton. Even me, who has been around for a while, even I have now been gotta get refreshed, if you will,
sure.
on, you know, not necessarily the organizations, which typically never change, but maybe some of the rules changed, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe, you know, I remember talking to NCAA coaches, and right when their athlete communication window opens, which might be later than an NAIA school. And like,
yes.
all those types of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a good question. All right, so my final question on that, and then we'll reset for game 2, is how many, is that like a series? Is it one show? Like, because there's a ton of things you can cover, but you wouldn't want to, you know, maybe it's multiple, right? You don't want to spend 3 hours on something and bore people, but if you give them 20 minutes of something 5 times.
Well, you got to find the sweet spot for the algorithm, right? I mean, at the end of the day, like it's
a good point.
It's ad revenue, it's RPM, my friend.
He's understanding the situation.
Yeah, it's RPM, so you got to hit that. You got to hit that sweet spot. It's about 45 minutes, I think, is the right spot for ads. But but no, I mean, you can't give them the fire hose, right? And I think there's enough of a niche that with the right marketing and the right sharing and the right social media presence, I think there's a real a real yearn for that. And like I say, maybe I'm the oddball and it doesn't work. But just go back and look at our text thread for this particular season in general.
Correct.
I mean,
right.
you and I have always talked a fair amount. We talked a lot this season, because I always had a question about something like, how does this work, or what does this mean, or why does this do like this? Just different things. And I would consider myself to be a fairly knowledgeable guy about some of this stuff because I want to understand it. So if I can't figure it out, or I don't know where to get the answer, like it's got to be an easier way. That's something that a coach that we had talked to early in Ainsley's process, Tim Fry out of St. Anselm in New Hampshire, just a fantastic gentleman and a wealth of information, and super good, just helping through a lot of answers and a lot of questions and that type of stuff. That's got to go. He got away with a really good shot on the left lane. I thought maybe he might be in a good spot. Talking about Hunter, sorry, we're both watching the same thing. You guys were talking about 9 and 10 yesterday being somewhat different across the two. I didn't catch all of that conversation, I thought, but
Yeah, it seemed like it was later in the block.
Okay.
And so it was right around the time that rush. That was a great shot bottom of your screen there for Hunter, as we're looking at main 5 through 8 right now, bottom 9 through 12. Rush had come off a game where he shot, I believe it was 230 on 9 and 10. And I think Hunter had a decent game as well. And it looked like at the time these two pairs might have been the best in the building. Now it's hard to judge that because I can't see what's happening on a regular basis. So on 1 through 8.
Yep.
On the other side of the wall. But it just seemed like the pairs were kind of opening up at the same time.
Okay.
And then Hunter went and shot, 240, rushed through or had a very good game physically, but he was not rewarded well at all. He had like 5 splits, but he was throwing it good. It was one of those games in bowling.
Yep.
Which unfortunately we all know too much about. But I thought the scoring pace might have just been a little bit higher over here.
Okay.
Than perhaps 1 through 7. But again, obviously small sample size, and we'll really have an understanding of that today.
Sure.
Especially with someone like Jackson, right? He started so well on 5 and 6. When he gets over here, and it'll be a couple of games of competition at that point. Yeah, it looks like he's playing a zone where his scores might be able to increase as he continues.
You're just kind of understanding the layout of the house too. I mean, just looking at it. I'm not sure. I got to assume with it being a smaller building like this that they're probably going to put league across the whole house. But I'm guessing if they got open play, just based on where the control desk is, it's probably going to be in that lower end. Just a guess. This is a little closer to the bar and the food over here on the high end. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how the characteristics. That was a good shot by Emily there.
That was, and she was a player too who didn't get off to the best start. And talking to her dad, Chad, and just real quick, kind of going back to your conversation, Emily's father, Chad, learned, and we would just have conversations literally. And for those who don't know, I do a lot of work with Bowl TV, who covers the PBA and the PWBA. And he would be watching, him and Emily would be watching PWBA events or collegiate events. And he would just pop in, ask some questions in the chat, and then I'd basically answer them.
Yep.
But on some similar things that you just described about the college aspects and things to look out for, what should we be paying attention to, et cetera. And, of course, now Emily has committed to William & Smith.
Yep.
And is going to be bowling for Heather and Jason Sterner. But, yes, to that end, always someone who needs that little niche education, if you will, about this sport. But from the bowling aspect, she had a chance to end up taking the lead yesterday in last night's squad. She had a chance to shoot. She needed 237. And at the time, she was on a 4 or 5 bagger heading into the 9th frame.
I saw this shot.
Yeah, she left a brutal 7-pin.
Absolute upper deck blower. Such a good shot.
Terrible shot, or a terrible break, excuse me. And ended up finishing, I think, 2nd overall. But that pinfall total possibly still could be in line, which to still get her a spot in the finals. But of course, she is bowling this morning, and maybe one more time, I think.
Yeah, I don't think she's just looking at the entry list. I don't think she's bowling this afternoon. I think she's bowling again this evening.
Probably good to take an afternoon off. Right, you bowled last night, got up early this morning.
Yep. And I've gotten to know, our family has gotten to know Emily's family really pretty well over the last 4-ish years, I'd say. Ainsley and Emily are pretty tight. They talk a lot and bowled some national stuff together. I'm gonna say this, and when Em told me where she was gonna go to school, I said Heather and Jason stole one, because she has the ability. She's going to have the opportunity to go there and be a program changer for them. She is that good. She is that good. I think there are probably a lot of NCAA schools that are going to be very disappointed that they didn't get her when they cross paths with them. That she absolutely has the opportunity to be a program changer. And talk about a great set of coaches to work with. I don't know them personally, but if you know of the Sterners, I mean, they're Heather obviously more on the workout side now and the fitness side versus the competitive bowling side. But again, no shortage of talent in her, and Jason obviously speaks for himself. But yeah, that's they stole one there. I don't know what it really was. I know big deal with school. Obviously, school's got to be first. But yeah, they got a really good one with Emily.
Looks like she's got an improved game plan, too, as we take a look at Addison Johnson on the right of the screen. Shout out to Andy Belo, by the way. He is also watching. He said good morning.
Oh, yes, sir. I just had dinner at his place last night.
Well, it's not October yet, so
right.
I can still go.
Nope, the Turkey Club is still as advertised, AB. Thank you, pal.
I believe my favorite item there is in any I get a good old-fashioned sausage, pepperoni, green pepper deal.
Oh yeah, pizza's always a solid offering at the OP for sure. I've tried to cut down on a little bit of stuff like that here as of the last few months. So the Turkey Club was the splurge for me with all that bread, but that's all right. It's always a good deal to go in there and support a guy who in an organization that supports bowling. You know, Andy's a bowler, and you know, always gives a lot of back to not only the youth kids, but the association as a whole at home. And so that's always appreciate the support that they provide, and always like to provide support to them too.
Good shot there from young Rushstein. All right, so Rush. Couple opens here is Leah Basevic, and first time getting to see Leah. And I forgot who I was talking with yesterday, but they had so many great things to say about the Basevics and Leah's bowling. It feels like I've known her for a long time, watching her compete on the Elite Youth Tour. She won a lot of U12 titles, and she's moved up divisions, of course, and it's no surprise that she's still winning a lot.
Right.
Wow, look at Quinton sprinting down to looks like take care of some deadwood. I gotta tell you, the staff here, and I don't know, maybe it's because it's 16 lanes. You know, but I don't know if I've ever seen a faster staff get to calls.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
really anything. Like, they're on schedule. And you can tell they're just not cleaning because it's a tournament. No, this is a schedule. This is what they do every day.
I think some of that is probably a testament to Quinton. I mean, Quinton and I don't know each other personally, but I know of Quinton because a good buddy of mine, Shannon Buchan, him and Quinton traveled a lot together, you know, in their aspiring PBA career days. And I think that's just a testament to how Quinton operates and runs the organization, right? I mean, it pride in what you do, and understanding from a player's perspective what a facility can feel like and should feel like, and really owns that, which is pretty cool.
You mentioned young Jackson is from Arkansas, indeed. Of course, he's a sophomore out of Conway. Home Center's Millennium Bowl there in Arkansas. And you know, when you have an event like this, right, you hope to draw certainly some bowlers from outside of the state. You know, it's a big draw, boy or girl. You know, 4 or 5 figure paychecks to somebody coming up here tomorrow. And more about Jackson. Highest average is 230. Also enjoys a little bit of golf. Now here's a testament to go bowling and the industry in general. One of my questions was, how did you get your start in bowling? Guess what his response was?
Kids bowl free in the summer.
That is correct.
Yes.
That is what he said. How about that?
That's awesome, by the way. That is such a tremendous program. And now you see so many of the centers running some kind of summer pass or whatever the case may be just to get kids in the summer. I tell people this all the time that don't understand like what youth bowling looks like, and they're playing baseball and basketball and softball and all these other things. And those are fantastic. I'm not taking anything away from learning any of those. But you can't go to any other sport that I know of as a as a 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old and start acquiring money for college. And you can do that in youth bowling. And if you're watching this, you already probably know that because you're already invested. But tell your friends with kids, hey, get in the center. You're not sitting outside in the rain. You're not sitting outside in the snow. You might deal with some busy concourses if you start to bowl some events, and that's another scenario. But at the same time, it allows your child an opportunity to start earning money for college, which is pretty cool.
Good morning to Thelma as well watching. Also, Devin McKiskey will be bowling this afternoon. That's another very good young player. And if my memory serves me correct, I do have 2 kids, so you gotta watch out for me sometimes these days with the memory. I think he's headed to Rock Valley, which is another good example of a path that I think a lot of young athletes may not consider, which is the junior college route. And go ahead, get a couple years out the way, get those prereqs, gen eds done, and then of course move on and finish your career elsewhere.
Rock Valley's got a heck of a program too.
They do.
They have been super stellar over the last few years for sure. They kind of own that JUCO National.
By the way, for Jackson too, a 2025 PBA Junior National Champion. He won the U15 mixed.
Okay.
In 2025. That says a little bit about your field right there. You got yourself a PBA Junior National Champion.
Yeah, right. Got one of those jerseys that they only wear on TV. You know, I mean,
And he's sporting it.
yeah, those are cool. Those are cool. You were talking about Davis Feltz yesterday too in a U15 Nationals jersey. I'm not shouting Davis out, but Davis is from Waterloo. I'm not sure where that jersey came from. Like, that's not his. But Davis is awesome. Davis is another kid, another local kid that has grown immensely in the last couple of years, and he was
talent.
He was a state qualifier last year. They went to state as a team this year too. Like I say, Davis has done tremendous work in the last couple of years.
Waterloo East.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. Waterloo East. They actually bowl in the same division classification as Decorah does. So they actually come up. So Davis has a little bit of familiarity with the house too. He would have been up here a couple different times for state sectional qualifying. But yeah, good kid, good family. Like I say, that's a good shot for Maya. Like I say, it's I lost my train of thought. Golly.
Talking about Davis.
Yeah.
And high school.
Oh, high school, yeah. So he's grown a lot. Like I say, state qualifier last year, made a good run. He had a good run to go to individual states this year too. So, like I say, really growing a lot and starting to learn his equipment and understand his equipment. Sometimes gets a little fired up and that hurts him at some point. But once he kind of learns how to harness some of that strength and that I don't want to say. Not understanding how to harness his determination, because I think some of his frustration comes out of determination, and as long as I put my coach hat back on, if your frustration comes from being determined, then you can work with that. If it just comes from being disappointed, then that's a different scenario. And I think Davis comes from an area of the frustration is because he's so determined. So you can learn how to harness that, and that's he's still young. He's only a junior. He's got another year of high school to go, and hopefully has the opportunity to go bowl in college if he chooses to. So that's pretty cool.
Good spare from Jackson. Speaking of Davis, there he is. So he might have had maybe did a little jersey swap. I actually think that would be cool at this level. Or maybe even at the professional level, too, to be honest with you. The old jersey swap like we see in other professional sports, and sometimes they cross sports, right? The athletes have admiration for other athletes.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool, too. I mean, because it used to be like if you saw somebody walk in with one of these dye sub customized jerseys, like, oh, they must be pretty good. Now everybody gets them. I mean, everybody's got them, and that's awesome from the standpoint that one from a broadcasting standpoint, it's nice to kind of know who's who. Like, it just makes life a little simpler. But I think it also brings some pride to the kid when they come in. They look good. You seeing the little kids wearing sporting jerseys with their names on them and stuff. Like, as a parent, those are expensive. So you using your connections when your boys start to bowl, like, leverage those, because those jerseys are expensive and they grow out of them pretty quick. Just another life moment from me. But it's just cool to kind of make them feel kind of that professional style. I mean, even like I say, everybody we can see right now almost has their name on their shirt, which is pretty awesome.
Which, as you know, if you sit in this chair for a long time and you don't have a live stream bio, or maybe you don't have access to the lane assignments, just knowing a name, and I'm someone who tries to go take the extra step all the time. I will go ask, like Kiera Russell or Kruger, does not have a name on her jersey today. But now, thankfully, I watched her bowl yesterday. I know exactly who she is.
Sure.
If today was my first day and I did not know who she was, I would simply go ask her, what's your name? Because I know that her family is probably going to watch this.
Yep.
And sometimes it's just one mention of a young athlete, especially in the youth stage. All right, very important. But even at the adult stage as well, when someone's children, right, go back and watch, they're going to hear their son or their mom or dad's name being announced. Meanwhile, young Keegan Steingrab over there on 9 and 10, he's starting to figure it out. I think the players who bowled yesterday have learned, right? They learned a lot, and they're already applying it. Mm-hmm. And to get off to much better starts in the first couple of games. We'll watch this rush shot here. Good one from Basevic. And we'll take a quick peek at 9 through 12 on full screen. A little bit of a weak chin there. Actually, you know what? Let me take a quick look at young Braden here, because he's got the musical clefs on his jersey. That kind of tells you, right, a lot about young Braden, excuse me.
Now, Braden's trying to do kind of like what I had mentioned earlier, and you can't see the ball go through the pins, but I'm guessing that was a pretty decent 4-pin just based on where the ball went. He's trying to kind of use the middle part of the lane to shim it, as opposed to rush. Just exact opposite is absolutely going to the friction and getting it to read there. So 40 feet, a lot of ways to get there. Just at the end of the day, hit the one closest to you and away on. And if the plastic ball works today, like I told somebody else this morning, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape.
So already 5, 6, 7, and 8 looks like it's going to produce another game of at least 2-0. Braden makes that spare. So at this point, at least 2-team. At least 2-0 from Rush at this point. After seeing a couple of players put up, 240 and 220 on those respective pairs.
We're just moving one right, correct?
For this squad, we are moving one. That will change
okay
in the afternoon. Quick shout out to Hunter Stickles as well. Met Hunter and his dad this morning. Hunter's dad watched yesterday's squad and said he watched the whole thing and gave some nice, kind words, which are always cool and I appreciate. So hopefully they learned a little bit as well. Hunter, the young freshman. Vinton Schellsberg.
Yeah, some of these younger kids I'm not quite as familiar with. I mean, Vinton Schellsberg's right in our backyard, but at the same time, he's just a little. Like I say, I'm a year removed from high school bowling too, so there's a lot of these kids I haven't necessarily seen for a while. I know you made reference to there was some 7th and 8th graders bowling last night, which is awesome. I love to see the young kids like really challenging themselves and getting introduced to the sport. You know, less game, more sport, which is pretty cool.
You might be the first person I've really heard kind of, separate the two in the best way possible, right? Because some people say it's a sport, some people just say it's a game. You acknowledge that there is both, but as you continue to kind of get deeper into bowling, that's essentially when you really take away the sport aspect. And take away meaning you're bringing it back to yourself. That's what you're taking away from your experience, that it is a sport.
Sure.
And there's a ton of sport items that go along with being a great athlete, while also, of course, beginning playing a children's game, if you will, to get started in the sport.
Sure. I mean, in kind of having my eyes open to some of the best programs in the country collegiately at the NCAA level. I mean, obviously NCAA bowling isn't a thing for the gentlemen, but it is for the ladies. Mm-hmm. And really seeing how the Vanderbilts, how the Jacksonville States, how the Nebraskas, I mean, you're talking about 3 Division I major conference schools, Arkansas State being another one, to see how they operate and how they run their programs and how they treat their players like Division I athletes. Even Ainsley at Maryville, Maryville's a Division II school that operates like a Division I school when it comes from a program standpoint and a competitive standpoint. But just watching them operate and how, you're in the gym 3 or 4 times a week. You're watching your nutrition. You're watching how you travel. You have library hours to make sure you're staying on top of your schoolwork. Just how they operate, how they treat their players as athletes, not a game. It really is a sport. And just understanding that difference has really opened my eyes to that. But like any other sport, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, softball, just the athletes are, you have to treat your body like an athlete and how you respond to that. And this is really no different. The kids that are bowling league or the adults that are bowling league and then watching the pros on TV say, well, I average 240. How come they can't shoot 210 on TV? Well, it's night and day difference. It's not even close to being the same, and that's so it's something that's just lost in our game overall, the sport versus the recreation.
We'll watch the spare attempt from Emily, and then we'll watch the conclusion of 9 through 12 at the full screen aspect. A couple of players working on at least a double. See a couple on at least a strike as well. Yeah, it could be a little bit different today on this side of things with respect to 9 through 12 and the scoring pace. Although I think Hunter has thrown it pretty well overall in this pair and had a ton of breaks. Keegan has been very solid too. He's got I think a single pin to have respotted. Yep, 4 pin on lane 10.
He'll be at Grandview University in Des Moines next season for Coach Mel down there. Yeah, Hunter's throwing the ball really well this game. He kind of left a shaker 5 that was kind of funny, but other than that, I mean, he's been around the hole. He had that washout in the 7th, but by and large been right around the dish the whole game. I think he's got a good idea what he's trying to do. But you see him just a little bit deeper too. They're not quite playing that second arrow to 5-6. They're in just that half a zone farther left.
think Mari finally saw a little bit of shape from where she was playing, and yesterday she was kind of doing, going right to left, trying to figure out how to play out.
She started that way this morning too. She was definitely, being very direct, almost, kind of more in front of her. Yeah, if I was her, I would be interested to see her kind of make that jump across the track and see what was in there. Almost that collegiate type start, to where it doesn't seem like in any of the college events I watched you could ever play the track. You were either right on top of the gutter or you were that 2 zones farther left. That's a great shot from Hunter right there.
I think that was a ball change as well.
It looked like it. He was in an Ion Pro Max, I believe, and that almost looked like I'm waiting for it to come out of the ball return. That looks like a Nova.
Yeah, that was my guess after I watched him throw it on the rack. Take a look at that shot again.
I mean, from a number standpoint, that's a pretty good one too. In theory, the Nova should be a little bit cleaner, a little bit longer, and still fairly smooth down lane.
When you say numbers, for those who may be listening to this and trying to absorb some knowledge, what do you mean when you say or refer to it as with numbers?
Oh, you're gonna make me look like an idiot now.
Well, just give me the. You don't got to go deep into it, but
just understanding the RG, and as far as the symmetry versus asymmetry. What symmetrical balls tend to be a little more round. Asymmetrical balls tend to be a little more sharp, and just kind of understanding that I think numbers wise, from an RG and asymmetry perspective, I'm guessing those balls are similar. If Jake Bedard's in here listening, he's going to tell me how wrong I am, because he is the utmost expert on all storm things locally. But just in my mind, I would think that those two probably work fairly well together. Just kind of understanding the numbers will tell you kind of where the ball should shape, and just kind of understanding if the core numbers are similar, then you'll have a similar reaction based on a difference in cover stock.
Excellent. See? I set you up for success. I wasn't just going to leave you on an island out there by yourself alone.
That's what the pros do.
What show is that when they used to be on an island?
Survivor?
Yeah, there you go. But there was no $1 million for you at the end of that race. Thank you to Miss Samantha, who is watching. Chase's mom, who started on 11 and 12. Chase will be back on screen, Mom, in just a few minutes. So don't you worry, but we appreciate you. Again, truly love just being able to be in a position to help parents watch their kids bowl. Can't help you watch them generally every game. But at some point, maybe I'll get there from the old equipment perspective. Tyler Williams, that is, also headed to Wichita State.
Oh, he is?
Recently publicly announced. So congratulations to Tyler Williams. He will be bowling at 1:30 and 6:30 today. And I believe Tyler made the finals last year. I was going back through some of the history. Last year, Josh Sachs won the event.
Yes.
He is now, or has completed, or just about completed, his freshman season at Purdue University. He was at ITCs, which is the USBC Collegiate National Championships. And
I saw him anchoring that group.
He was.
And that's an impressive group. I didn't get to watch a lot of USBC kids this season, obviously, just because of the NCAA. But, man, the few times that I got to see Josh play, I was really impressed.
That was a nice rebound from Braxton. And Braxton has struggled a little bit this morning, but, there's no other group bowling right now. Obviously, on this end, I think one is about to start over on 3 and 4. But the group's on 11 and 12, or there's a group obviously waiting to get to 9 and 10. This group moves to 11 and 12. They tend to wait so no pair gets too ahead of the other, right? So if you they basically said, all right, we'll just wait at the beginning, and so we won't have to wait at the end. I do think they had a couple of things to be respot this game. So, and also, thank you to Dustin's Journey. We appreciate you.
They're a pair of 6 too. They're our only pair of 6.
Aha. Well, there you go.
So that's yeah, they're going to be a little bit slower. Maya Knight just finished up. She's a Waterloo West senior. Her girls group is going to go to junior college not junior college. She was high school nationals this summer in June. So they're doing some fundraising and different things like that. They were a state tournament team this year. Maya's another one who was as a high school sophomore had never picked up a bowling ball. Now graduating senior, she's going to go continue her athletic journey at Clark University in Dubuque. So again, she's going to go from I've never thrown a bowling ball before and I don't know what they are as a sophomore to being a collegiate player as a graduating senior, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to watch her determination, watch her again try to continue to grow in what she does. And like I say, I've known Maya and her mom Kelly for quite a while now, and good family. And like I say, to see her aspiration to become a collegiate player and then the determination to go make it happen is pretty awesome.
How about that? That's a great story. Keegan trying to finish up strong here. You can get to 202. Senior of PCM High School. That is in Prairie City, Iowa.
Fun fact is Keegan's high school doesn't have bowling. He bowls for Southeast Polk in the Des Moines Metro. Prairie City's pretty close to the Des Moines Metro. Yeah, they were. I don't remember if they went to state this year. I think they did. But Keegan's a previous state qualifier too. Multiple time junior gold. He bowls some of the stuff over in the Nebraska youth. I can't remember the acronym, but Omaha area, Omaha Council Bluffs. They're on a bunch of stuff over there. He's bowled a lot of the stuff up in Waterloo Cedar Falls. I know he's bowled some of the. Being in Des Moines in the state of Iowa, you can get a fair amount of tournament bowling within a couple hours. And he's definitely been around on the circuit for sure.
Keegan won the YBSF, which was the Youth Bowling Scholarship Foundation points race back-to-back years. And also talked about the 300 games he's bowled. As you mentioned, he is going to Grandview. His grandmother signed him up, and his dad, for an adult youth league. That's how he got started.
That's awesome. That's awesome. His dad probably won't bowl with him anymore. Keegan's gotten pretty good.
Imo won't get that break, but it's a break still with just a single pin. And all eyes right now on 9 and 10.
Shout out to the tournament staff too. You had mentioned they're running around and making sure everything works like it's supposed to. Nothing burns me more as a tournament director and or spectator to see technology not being utilized. and to have understanding that this Cubica AMF scoring system has the ability to take names, take scores, do those types of things. As a competitor, I think I would enjoy it because I can always see what everybody's going on around me. But just utilizing the technology to the betterment of not only the player but the spectator too. You can walk in and start looking at scores and understanding what's going on.
Yeah, I will say, and obviously I watch a lot of professional events and cover them, and it's very rare that I see names. First of all, names in the scoring monitors, period, at a tournament, let alone scorers traveling with the names, which makes, as you just said, if you're a spectator only and you can follow along with what's happening with your son, daughter, if you're just in the building, right, you just want to know who's winning, your eyes can travel and know what's happening across the board as we head to game 3 officially. And certainly if you're in my position, now I can look and say, oh, okay, all right, I know that Hunter is now 24 over for 2 games. Without having to wait initially. You still wait for the score update, but
Right.
Now
right.
I know it right off the top.
Well, it's really helpful. Like in this particular setting, like if you've never been here, we talked about the big social area in between lanes 8 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of follow along with what's going on over there, but from our vantage point, to be able to see lanes 1 through 8 physically, there's just too many things in the way, so you can't see. But when they make that switch from 7 and 8 over to 9 and 10, now you can instantly see how they've done already so far through the day, which is nice to not have to wait for the scoring update. We can jump in and talk about Rush and Jackson and Addison right away.
We get to talk about Avery and Chase again, as they are now back on camera. 5 and 6 to start, of course, these lanes and these groups already underway. A couple frames in, 9 and 10 already getting into it as well. We'll take a look at the standings here. They find the right link. So after 1, let's see, it's just best to wait now. After 2, we know Hunter's 246 was the leader. Jackson Dye shot 223. In the girls division, Addison Johnson had shot 202. Boys, Hunter Sickle shot 210 out the gates. There were a handful of 200 games. A few more than we saw yesterday on the Fresh, for sure. Okay, front 3 already for Braden. He had a good game in the previous game too, all around 5 and 6. Didn't end it in the way he wanted to, unfortunately.
Total housekeeping thing. Can we put a link to the standings in the chat, maybe?
Sure. Thank you for alerting me to that I did not do that today. I appreciate that. Let me find the old wonderful link.
I only know because that's exactly where I went to look for it, and it wasn't there.
Because it was there yesterday.
Yes, it was there yesterday. I could find it.
All right, let me go to find Mr. Steen. I want to make sure I grab it from his post to start.
Yeah, just watching down on 3 and 4. Looks like Mari's definitely moved in a little bit from where she was. I know we can't see the score monitor, but she's definitely kind of made that zone move in. Emily with a 10 pin here. One of the things we kind of talked about earlier this morning already was, making sure that plastic ball works, and the spares. The spares are going to be important. We can't give count away. They're all going to add up, especially like for the boys when you're taking four out of this group of, man, I can't remember how many there are in this morning block, but there's not very many. Maybe 20-ish. No, not even. 15, 16 or so. So to give count away when you only have to be in the top quarter of the field, that's kind of a mistake that really all bowlers kind of get trapped in sometimes. It's tough to remember that all those pins add up. I mean, again, I'm going to keep talking about collegiate bowling a little bit today, but we had a number of matches this season come down within 10 pins, and we had gotten 2 off of a double, or just silly little things where we give away 4 or 5 pins in one shot, and at the time it doesn't feel all that impactful until you get to the total and you realize that you lost by 6, and it wasn't the missed spare that got us, it was the count that got us 2 different times or 3 different times. So especially in a field like this, it's when a lucky couple hits could really make a big difference. Like, you can't give the sticks away, you gotta take them all.
All right, that link is now posted in the chat. Under you'll see results, and then click the link that follows. And so with that, let's do a refresh, see if they have been sorted, and they have. And so Addison Johnson, who now is on lanes 9 and 10, leads Leah Basevic by 1 pin. through 2 games. Again, 5-game blocks. In the girls division, specifically, Braxton. All right, 3 years from now, I'm going to look back and say, okay, Braxton's going to go to whatever college he wants. He's just showing some resolve. Had a couple gutters today, but he hasn't allowed that to affect him. And if it is, he's not showing it outwardly, which is the most important part. Back to the score. So Addison and Leia separated by a pin. Emily Whitehead actually 5 pins back of the lead. Avery Wilson is right there. It's very close through 2 games, as you might expect in the girls division. And the same can be said for the boys division, where Hunter Steimel, although does have a 20-pin advantage over Jackson Dias at the moment. But both of those players are plus, so nice bowling to them through 2 games. Chase McVicar, 382 for 3, so he is minus 18 right now. Rushteen is 4th. Now, it's important to note at this point, ow. When I show you this replay, and I don't know if you saw it, Matthew, but I still think Rush has just been able to do something that most just haven't been able to do consistently through what is now 7 games of this tournament, including last night. And whoever's coming to bowl this afternoon, I'm not telling you where to play because that's not my job. Okay? But all you got to do is just watch. Okay? Watch where this ball hooks, where you might not anticipate it.
And it's original Jim, so that is one of the lowest RG balls that Rotor-Grip makes. So it would ideally hook the soonest. So that tells you kind of how slick the front is, but it also shows
it's 33 mils.
How quick they are down lane still. So that a ball that big can still make that shape. Now Rush has a tremendous rev rate too, but you don't have to get that steep to it, I don't think. I think everybody can play it there. You just have to get it. You have to be farther right and get it there. But yeah, that's definitely something to take note of for sure.
Rush, by the way, because he earned a spot in the finals, right? You have to remember now he is not in the picture for an auto spot. Okay, he's got a spot already in the finals. So when you're looking at the standings, and it'll be our job to make sure you know who's in and who's already gained a spot throughout. So right now you'll be looking at Hunter and Hunter Stickles in particular at this point, who has had a good start. Oh, he's getting away with some as Rush.
Yes. Well, and if you watch Jackson, he did a very similar thing with I can't tell what that is sitting on the rack, but something very, very similar. He's tricking it a little bit with loft, whereas Rush is getting it down and using the big shape of the bowling ball to want to hook. Great shot from Carly right there too on lane 9.
We'll see how Leia is, truly trying to play him too, because she is a kind of front to back type of player as well. And if there's that kind of hook out there, which I saw yesterday, see how close she is to it. And that one was left, but she's probably trying to be a little bit parallel. I do think that is the, like if a lower rev player can get the same type of ball reaction down lane that a higher rev player like Jackson and Rush can get, they'll have to do it with ball type.
Yep. But if you saw the shot that Laurel just threw on 5 and 6, like that ball probably got 5-6 down lane and just never saw it. So it's that dichotomy of I'm going to play right, but I got to commit to playing right. One of the tricks to playing the gutter is you got to be willing to throw it in there, because you got to be able to get it there.
It's a great point.
Because that shot that Rush throws to Rush and Jackson are throwing to 2-3 is good, but 5-6 is not good. 5-6 is when I tell Ainsley, I'm like, that's Wiggle City. That's no good. And it's that over under. And Addison made the same kind of shot on 10. to where it was just a little too far left and never saw any shape and just went forever and washes out. Whereas that ball gets just a little farther right and then it'll read.
Emil Williams Jr. with Matthew McConaughey. And our running joke, of course, not the Lincoln Matthew, not the endorser, but y'all still got the Nissan. Have we upgraded?
We did kind of upgrade.
Did we go to Lincoln?
No, I drive a Tesla now.
Oh my gosh!
but
look at this guy.
It's used. It's used. But honestly, some of the tech and all of the driving we did for the college bowling season, that thing was awesome. I love that thing. So I'm all electric all the time now. But anyway,
someone was just telling me a story. I think it was JJ, John Janowitz, and real quick, we were talking about bowling balls and numbers as we watched Chase here, and Chase was trying to do the same thing. And maybe a hair quick, but he's close.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. He can actually get a board or two further right.
So that could be something as simple as just a little move with your feet too. I mean, that doesn't even have to be new ball shape. That's just got to be a little more up it.
So JJ was, I had a really good convo, and he kind of broke down his process for choosing bowling balls for the PBA 50 Tour.
Sure.
And he talked a lot about, RG and diff, and he basically chooses balls based on those numbers to try to simplify his process. So he'll have X amount of bowling balls in this differential range, and then that differential range, and then he's good. Then he'll have X amount of bowling balls in this low RG to high RG range. And then so when he's out there on tour, when it comes time that if he feels like he does need to drill a ball, he doesn't have to waste time figuring out which ball. Sure. He can go right to the range of diff or RG number that he's missing or he feels he needs in the moment, which generally probably breaks it down to like a 2-ball scenario, and then he just chooses which one, or he thinks of the 2 as opposed to of the 5.
Sure.
Or the 7.
We might be workshopping another idea. Like, I mean, just seriously, like understanding those progressions and understanding, even if it is just take the PBA 50 Tour, might actually be a fantastic group to do that with. Like, I want to interview you. I want to know what your processes are. How do you manage different things? How do you operate within an event? You've got some pretty charismatic folks in that PBA 50 group. Oh, get out of there!
Wow. They're starting to show off on 9 and 10.
A little bit, yes, sir.
And this is kind of when it started to get a little nice on these pairs at the bottom right of your screen.
Okay, so I know it's in the little corner, right? But Carly just made a really good shot, and she's kind of in that zone we talked about, that zone and a half farther left. That 12, 13, 14 up front. But she's in something shiny now, to where she's controlling the front part of the lane with surface. And not necessarily rough surface, but something a little cleaner to where it stays on line and maintains a little bit more energy down lane, which sometimes the ladies need to be able to generate that down lane motion sometimes. So that was a really good shot.
Somebody must have knocked my cable down there.
Jackson and Rush are just creating shape now.
Yeah, we took you over here, folks, just to, obviously you can see it to some degree in the corner, but what they're doing is, kind of a blueprint. Not sure, everybody can't do what they're doing, but you can try to do it in your own way to some degree.
Addison threw a shot on 9 that was really, really good. And it was definitely a lot straighter through the fronts. She's kind of in that no man's land, though, I feel like. Kind of that spot we've talked about. Now, that's definitely farther right, and that's going to shape, and that's a really good shot. But she was that's a move, right? She was kind of in no man's land. She was, 2 or 3 left of that and just had the wiggle and couldn't ever get it to get it offline to the left, and it goes left. We get it offline to the right, and it stays right. So that was definitely a really good move and a really good shot there. She's using her eyes. She's learning. She's seeing what's around her.
And sometimes that's half the battle, right? Just learning or watching what's happening around you.
Sure.
And how that applies to your game. As they say, you know, the more the pattern is applied, and you know, we talked a little bit about that, and you know, them getting a little bit trickier, playing a little truer, etc. But also in many cases, right, there's more knowledge being gained, and so you might see something different from the players because of the knowledge that they picked up, and they're applying it in real time.
Yes, for sure. I just saw a picture on social media here right now, and it's interesting that when the USBC events quit allowing urethane, or the high performance urethane, you know, that everybody kind of went to the plastic then, right? We're going to throw our axes and our spies and our mixes, and we're going to throw that stuff, right? And I just saw a picture of one young competitor here this morning that had 2 axes. They were white. They were just absolute chalk. They were the epitome of charcoal. And I'm not going to tell you who they were. If you want to go on social media and find it, you can. But it's a change in the game, right? You know, now we're not gonna bang the thing. We're gonna scuff the heck out of the plastic and make it look like it got rolled around in the parking lot. It's an interesting kind of change in the game to where you can call it a crutch. The best in the world and the best in the game are going to figure out a way to navigate it. It doesn't matter what you continue to take away; they're gonna figure it out. So it's cool to see kind of new tricks and new tools.
That's a good point, because that rule is also in effect here at this tournament. It was on the flyer. No slow absorbing urethane allowed, which is, you know, it's important to kind of categorize it that way, because it is categorized in that way from the national perspective, from the rules aspect of things. We still see very, very many questions about, you know, many teams and parents are preparing for junior gold, so they're trying to make sure they understand what's allowed and what's not allowed.
Yeah, and that's a testament to understanding what you're gonna compete in, right? I mean, read the flyer, read the rules, because the big thing is, and I've seen this at junior gold a number of different years. You know, just even 5 bowling balls. You only get 5. You got 2 3-ball rollers. You can't fill them both. You see people get turned away at the front door for the opening of the first squad because they got 6 bowling balls. Like, you can't have that many. Like, and then get irritated to the fact that, well, nobody told me. Well, that's not true. Like, you know, so just do your homework, do your research, and understand what you're up against. Know the rules and know what your experience will be supremely greater if you know. So do your homework and be educated, and the experience gets a whole lot better. Good spare there on the bucket by Maya on 11 and 12.
Had a question about essential, uniform. There is a dress code, and essentially, pants, slacks, no jeans, shorts. Yeah, same for young ladies. Skirts, pants, etc. are allowed. Collared shirt, mock shirt, something. Names not necessary, but certainly preferred, because it just helps identify.
Yes. Push a little. That's a good shot from Keegan there. Looks like a phase 2 maybe.
You're starting to see more confidence from all of the players, even those who may have started with some struggles.
That's not fair. That was 3 left, and it was 10 back. he can make that miss right too, and the ball still check and get there.
And the key to that, folks, too, is for Jackson specifically, as he has decided to kind of bypass the first 10, 15, 20-ish feet of the pair, so he doesn't have to kind of figure out how to get his ball not to the break point and kind of get through that mess, quote unquote.
Yep.
Right. And as the fronts continue to hook, right? Because the front part of the lane just is going to continue to hook. More bowling balls are obviously being placed in the front part of the lane. That spot, the oil goes away the fastest in that area. So he's saying, I'm just gonna. He started this way. He was doing this in game one.
Yep.
I'm just gonna bypass that to start, and I'm only focusing on. This is me paraphrasing what I'm thinking is in his brain. I'm gonna focus on how to get my ball to the break point that I need, and trust my ability to do that.
Yep. And I mean, conversely, the shot that Davis just threw on lane 9, similar spot, less rev rate for sure, but just a little bit farther left, and the ball never got to the head pin. And Jackson can kind of miss to that similar spot, but ball surface makes the difference. So
This is where it gets tricky.
Yes.
In my opinion, because as a player, because you start to get comfortable, right? Especially on a pair, you feel like you're throwing it good.
Yep.
Okay, but you always have to keep the sirens up because you can go to the next pair and you just won't have what you just had.
Right.
And it's just it's always a never-ending game.
And it's they're always changing, right? I mean, every shot that goes down the lane makes them different. So just having the awareness to keep looking and making sure you understand that pair to pair they're not going to be the same. And 40 feet, I mean, we're in game 3 now. We have seen a number of different styles of how to get to the pocket. So understanding that too, like who you're following, who you're crossing with, where you're chasing the lane pattern in comparison to what's in front of you. I don't think he cares who's in front of him at this point.
Well, he missed too.
Considerably. I mean, that on a 2-3 to 1 pattern to miss by 3 is significant, and he's missed by 3 at least 2 times in the 6-bagger, 7-bagger that I noticed.
Between Jackson, Keegan, Hunter, and still Rush. Yeah, you just see both Jacksons really starting to put together a few strikes. We'll go next door and just check in on the scoring pace there.
The other thing you're starting to notice is a little bit of when you get comfortable and then you feel you execute and you don't get the desired result, you're starting to see a little bit of frustration. And as a young player, understanding how to harness that and use it for good and settle in and kind of just relax a little bit and understand that every shot is independent and take the information and move on with it. Not easy, not saying it is, but just understanding that information and taking it and utilizing it the correct way. Chase with a nice 206 down there on the low end. Going to be minus 12 after 3. That's not a bad score for sure. Leah Basevic with 197 on that low end. She's going to be 45 under after 3. That's another good score. Again, just kind of a reminder on the format for scoring pace. You want to be, if you can win your squad, that's most important for the girls. Finish in the top 4 in your squad, that's an automatic spot into Sunday. But after that, it's a remainder for the remaining spots will get filled by pinfall. So you still, even though you're not going to win your squad, you still got to chase the number and really get all the pins you can. You don't want to give any away just because it's not looking too hot. Because I don't think they're probably going to get a whole lot easier as the day goes on. The talent level is going to go up a little bit. We got some really good kids coming in for the rest of the day, but just understanding that every pin very much could count, on either side. 12 for the girls and 32 for the boys.
Heard someone, maybe mom in the background, yell sit when Keegan's shot was nearing the 1-3 pocket. They listened.
Jackson Dice up here on lane 9, working on a 7-bagger.
Well, at this point, by far, maybe the highest game.
That almost looks like an idol. Gosh, what was that red-orange idol? No, it isn't either. Come on, chat. Somebody tell us what it is.
I know what you're talking about. And you're right, it was some type of idol.
No, that's it's a revolt uprising. It's a motive ball.
I still think you're right. Like there was
that a similar color idol, but yeah, that's a motive revolt. Obviously, Josh Peveril isn't watching because he would have already told me that's what it was. Rolling around his mail truck in Waterloo today, delivering mail, not listening to us.
Well, we appreciate him for what he does too.
Understand. Helios, idol Helios.
There it is. That's it.
Danielle Boston, Kylie's mom, she's checking in.
.263 for Jackson.
Is that the mystery score today?
It might be.
That's a fun one.
I'm a big 261 kind of guy, though.
I like that too. Yep.
So Keegan can get to, let's see. He still shoot 269. How about gutter spare to start for Keegan? He can still get to 269. He can outdo Jackson this game. It's only game 3. We got to these scores. Actually, it was about this time yesterday. It was about this time yesterday.
That was just a little more up the lane for Keegan than what he had been. Run this down, hit the one in the front. Carly kind of got back into no man's land. She was just a little farther left of that and saw the ball go left, and that looked like a little bit of a move right that probably was it was a lesser than quality shot for her before she made that move. Like I say, that when they're hard like this, that happens. Sometimes you kind of get tricked into making a move that isn't necessarily correct just because of what you saw. Good spare there. I think anytime they get hard, you miss the head pin on the first shot. It's always a little nerve-wracking, like, how do I make sure I hit it the second time?
That could cause some anxiety.
If you're watching at home and all you do is bowl a league, it's like, how do you miss the head pin? I'm like, well, easy, watch here.
That could cause some anxiety.
That's a good shot from Braxton there too. He's not missing by much, and he's grinding. He's working hard. Like I say, I don't know Braxton real well, but like I say, he is definitely staying engaged and working hard here through game 3, even though he's probably not getting the results that he really wants. Oh, made her run to Greek church there. Got 3.
Joining us for the first time, this is the end of game 3. We'll be working our way into game 4 here shortly. Squad 2 of 4 at the Iowa Youth High Roller Scholarship Tournament. big prize fund. And thanks to the wonderful sponsors, Perry Novak Electric and Matthew Construction, Ziegler Cat, BRP and the Brunings, Kroll, Skyline Motorsports, and so many others who have helped put together such a wonderful opportunity for these youth players, including construction, build momentum. And come across your screens as well. So 10K to the boys winner, 5K to the girls winner, and all of that will take place tomorrow. We'll get into a much different format after our 5-game qualifying squads end tonight. 12 girls will end up advancing. 32 boys will end up advancing. There'll be a couple of rounds on Sunday morning in the boys division. One round to start 2 games. They'll cut the field in half. Another 2 games, cut the field till we get to 8. The girls division will bowl 1 additional round in the morning of 3 games. They will cut that field in half. And then we'll have modified step ladders tomorrow for, again, 10K and 5K respectively.
It's going to be fun tomorrow. The format's pretty cool. I mean, it's a lot of moving parts, but I think it's going to make for a really exciting Sunday finals.
We will be right here with you to bring you all of that coverage. It's going to go by faster than you would think when you say that format out loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's actually be much quicker than you anticipate.
Yeah, it takes longer to say it, I think, than it's going to take to actually to do it. Yeah. But it's cool. And I was reading through the rules when Brandon sent it to me. I'm like, that's a lot of moving parts, and it might be a little confusing to make sure that everybody kind of understands what's going on. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it's going to make for an exciting action, and just having the opportunity to really, regardless of where you start tomorrow, to have a realistic opportunity to make it is cool. You could be a long ways back in the boys. You could be in 32nd and a ton of pins back and still have a chance to make it, which is that's all you can ask for on Advancers Day, is just a chance to keep bowling. More interesting conversation on how to end tournaments. Something we talk about a lot is how do you end a tournament? What's the most fair? All those things.
Sure.
But get out of there.
All right, so Jackson finishes at 164. We got 2 Jacksons in the field here this morning. Keegan looking for a 9-pin conversion. Taking care of business is Keegan, so he will be in the 220s with a good count.
Jackson Porth, who just got done on lane 12, he's a fairly local kid. He's from New Hampton, not too far from here. He's got a brother at Hawkeye Community College. Coach Andy Aries over there at New Hampton, the Chickasaws. Kind of a young program starting, haven't had high school bowling for a long time, so pretty cool to watch them start to become a good program.
Jackson trying to close it out. He'll get a couple pins of count here. Give love to my guy Braxton here, because he's an 8th grader, giving this thing his best go. And I've been saying we've had a few 8th graders now. And so, really giving himself an opportunity to see, where he is. If he continues right, looks like he certainly is. What he'll need to work on, right? If ultimately his goal, according to what he said in his bio, is to bowl on tour. Right, this is a great place to really start that process.
Is he a local kid?
Let's see. Uh-oh.
He must have been a re-entry, because he was not on the sheet for today that I had.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, he was not.
I didn't know if I had it in his bio.
to say, I think Denison, Iowa.
Okay, so that's out in western Iowa. Then that's actually kind of a haul for an 8th grader to come over here and compete against this field. So that's even more impressive. Not that it's any less impressive if he lived close, but you know, to come and challenge yourself a fair distance away from home is at that age. If you're not bowling a lot of these things already,
it wasn't cool. Down the street. Is what you're saying,
right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So with 5 through 8 already, a couple of frames in. We'll start there at 9 through 12, about to begin, and 11 and 12, who just finished up, they're heading and making the jump down to lanes 3 and 4. So this was the time a lot of players made their moves yesterday. Emily Kringle was one of those players, and she ended up having a chance to have the Squad 1 girls qualifying lead. Let's see if she'll have that opportunity again now with 3 games complete.
She's going to wish she had the first half of last game back. She went 9 out 3 times in a row to start that game, and that's pretty atypical of her. But like I say, she's going to wish she had some of that back, and she's going to bounce back coming over this side of the building, I'm sure.
Of course, the story right now in the boys division in particular, Jackson Dias 67 over after shooting 263 in game 3. This is his first squad, and so he is in clear sight of having the boys lead, and of course a spot most importantly in the finals for tomorrow. If you do lead the squad, boy or girl, you will get a $100 bonus, and the first bowler to shoot 300 would receive a $1,000 bonus courtesy of Skyline Motorsports.
That is impressive money for just a April weekend in Decorah, right? I mean, that is just a testament to all of the sponsors and all of the added money that came into this particular event. It's a real commitment that the sponsors have to youth bowling up here, which is super, super impressive. I don't think people sometimes understand how much effort and energy it takes to operate an event like this, but to go and chase and find a prize fund of any reasonable amount, much less a substantial amount like this. I mean, you've got to have people that are really invested in youth bowling. So that's awesome. Testament to all the sponsors to providing this kind of prize fund for these kids to bowl for. So if you need services from any of the sponsors, make sure you reach out to them. Let them know that you appreciate them sponsoring an event like this, because if it means a lot to you and you can use their services, always take advantage of the ones that are giving back to the things that are important to you. That's if you don't support them, they can't afford to do things like this. So make sure you go and share your patronage with them.
Chase gets him to wiggle a little bit, so he is clean through 4 frames. And to look at Chase's bio or see if he was able to fill one out. And looks like there are 3 Chases who are bowling, not just today, or not this squad, but in total. So Chase's home bowling center seems to be in Winnipeg. If Chase's mom is listening, I was working for a live streaming startup a little over a decade ago at this point. Ooh, boy, the years add up. And it was a school-based, it was a sports-based program or a startup dedicated to high schools and live streaming. And a lot of it was sports-related, but also academics, school. And anything that a school may have wanted to stream, morning announcements, graduation, and stream their own sports, they could do that. And we were starting to get into some schools internationally were starting to use the platform. And so I ended up going to Canada in Gimli, actually, which is not that far from Winnipeg. Interesting to kind of do a presentation for the company. And that was my only time in Canada. But they got some fantastic bowlers, and I think we all know that. I got a chance to bowl with Dan McClelland. He cost us some more opportunities to win some national championships in college. Even to the present day, Francois Lavoie, for example, players like that. On the women's side is Jaude Cote.
Sure, yeah.
Who was phenomenal and went to Youngstown State and helped them win a national championship last year. We saw this leave in the past, too, by the way, for Leah Basevic in the right of your screen. 2-4-5-10.
Oh,
and
get out of there.
I forgot who left it yesterday, but it also was converted. I think Maury left it yesterday.
Okay.
To your point, go ahead.
Oh, I was just a couple other Team Canada players. I mean, you got
go ahead.
got Zach Wilkins, you got
That's right.
Mitch Hoope. I mean, you've got some. Bowling's definitely an international game for sure, for sure.
Zach just won his first title with AJ Chat.
Local.
They both did.
Local AJ. AJ's from Manchester, not all that far from here.
I always forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching AJ in high school, and he was just absolutely whomping on everybody, and then went to Wichita and yeah,
whomping on everybody. Great spare. Well, just like a pin that hits that sidewall, acting like the 6 into the 10 in that moment.
I love kind of her little reaction too. She was excited too coming back. That was awesome.
After there was like probably a little bit the way she came back, like, I can't believe I just left this.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, talking about AJ just a little bit, how's it feel to bang your ankle and then still win your title? I mean, that's what looked like a very unfortunate situation to then turn into a still be an elated one is good. Is good.
Yeah, it's been a great last couple of weeks for Zach Wilkins. He's a really good dude, too. Really enjoy watching him have, not only watching him, but having some conversations with him across various live streams. And, he's settled into the KC area.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we chatted, and I believe Gladstone, for example, home bowling center. Success was starting to find him. It was starting to happen. He was starting to put together multiple weeks,
sure,
not just on tour, but other events, regional competitions, other high-level 5K type events, 5-figure, type events, 10Ks and whatnot. And now, not only did he win last week, but now he's the top seed for the TOC Tournament Champions.
That's crazy. Talk about a parlay, turning last week's title into an opportunity to not have to bowl the PTQ, just be able to go straight into the main field, eliminate one more round of bowling, and then just all of the juxtaposition that happened during that position round last night was pretty wild.
Yeah, you can't. I would obviously never be able to explain it, right? But I'd have to imagine just whatever mental break that he got from being a champion and no longer worrying about a PTQ.
Sure.
From that aspect, just what his brain looked like after that happened. I would be so curious to see it scientifically.
Yeah, I mean, it just condenses it condenses the format every week, right? I mean, that's 6, 7, 8 games less that I have to worry about trying to chase a check, like that. Because, okay, so I won the PTQ. That's fantastic. That just means you got to pay another $250 to go try to earn your money back. I mean, that's what it turns into. It's a chance. And just to be able to take that one piece of it away, I think would be just I don't want to say relieving, because that's not probably the right term, but just, able to go in a little more free roll type idea in your head.
Free roll. So about 7th frame here in front of us on 5 through 8. And then over on 9 through 12, they are working their way into frame 5. Next squad begins at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. And that's plenty of time for me to indulge into some excellent walleye bites that they serve here at this wonderful facility. If you are in this area and you like fish, they've got some good walleye bites here. They were fantastic.
That sounds delicious.
I'm not making that up. And of course, yes, I am going to talk glowingly about our host venue, especially when they have great food. Hello to John watching, and Jeff for checking in. Always good to see you guys in any bowling chat. And I'm sure I'll see many of you, of course, coming up if you follow the Professional Women's Bowling Association Tour. It is now my time to head to that tour. PWA starting at the end of the next week.
Next week, yeah.
Good Lord.
Especially coming off of a collegiate run end of the season for you, doing some NCAA work and then getting to do some work with the ITCs. I mean, you've been a busy guy the month of April already.
Yeah, we're really March. March is kind of the kickoff for me, generally speaking. Sectionals at the Wisconsin High School State event,
Sure.
which also can watch here on Boldstream TV. I forgot what happened at the end of March. I think it was a regional, PWBA regional in Pennsylvania. And then there's essentially no break until about early June for me. When we get you back full screen over on 9 through 12, what's happened to, and not completely yet, because Jackson still got a chance to kind of turn this game around. He's got a double. But, you know, I was just convinced that Rush was going to go from shooting 230 to 240, 250 on 11 and 12 after doing it on 9 and 10. And there's just seemed to be running into a little bit of a hiccup. You know, not just them, but the entire group over there. And it's just amazing how quickly lanes change.
Yeah, Gutter's got just a little bit more over-under on 11 and 12. Because Jackson folds out the 210. And I mean, Rush through the gutter twice on 9 or on 11 and 12. You know, there's just a little more hang, it looks like, on the gutter.
Amber Wilson trying to get a break, but just leaving the single pin. Young Brock still got a solid game going, so we'd love to see him finish that game.
Yeah, shout out to Laurel too. She's got one hole there through 7, but you know, looks like she's probably managing the hole pretty well.
Nice super washout conversion, bottom of your screen there from Emily Kringle. I forgot the World Series is also happening next week. Boy, bowling is happening. Leah Basevic, couple of strikes there. She's got one in the 6th frame.
Austin Olerog looking for a 3-bagger, leaves the 2-8.
Love to see some good things start to happen for Austin. Didn't get off to the best start here this block.
Chase, folding out the 4-9.
Let's see where. Let's take a look at the standings here. Speaking of Chase, 213 house, 209 sport averages, 3 300s, high series of 808. How about that? I'm sure Mom will love this. How did you get your start in bowling, Chase? Watched my parents bowl from the day I was born and just was led in that direction. Coach Earl, Coach Tyrell, a lot of really good coaches too in Canada. I just don't think sometimes, and it's easy, right, when you don't live in a country, you don't know what's happening, right, especially if you don't moonlight, right, or work in this industry a ton. But Coach Tyrell is widely regarded as one of the best coaches in the world. Working on cars and ATVs. Okay, Chase. All right.
Another one of those jobs that AI can't take away.
That's right. That's how we live our lives now. What job cannot be taken away from me?
Man, and the ironic thing to that is I actively try to find ways to incorporate AI in my daily
it's such a good
daily
tool.
work.
No doubt about it.
I've got a number of, I'll call them mundane functions that I have that I have converted into AI functions in my real world job, and just to take some of the work out of work.
Scores are updated, by the way, so click the pin link. I'm going to probably try to throw this on the screen real quick.
I like how the tournament staff is doing a nice job of getting that spreadsheet updated too. That's another added bonus in the building to be able to know where things are going. There's a lot of scoring platforms out there, whether it's Lane Talk or Bowl Metrics or any of those, but it just goes to show that even without some of those technological advances, if there's a will, there's a way. You can still get information to people, provided that you have the desire to do it. So another testament to the staff here to provide another great experience just to an already great event. Chase with a nice conversion on the 257 down there on lanes 7 and 8.
Leah Basevic at 5:55 for 3. She is the leader in the girls division at the moment. Emily Whitehead at 5:19. Addison Johnson at 5:15. Carly Yank at 5:09. Coach Jackson Dias 67 over. Hunter Steimel 17 over. He is looking for an auto spot. And Chase, who we're watching right now, 12 under at 588. He too looking for an auto. And right now, because Rush has an auto spot, Hunter Stickles would be in line to grab the 4th spot from this squad. But Keegan Steingrab is right there, 2 pins back of Hunter Stickles.
Remember how we talked about all the pins mattering? From 1st to 6th for the girls, 60 pins with 2 to go. That isn't very many. Yeah. I mean, you're only talking 40 pins from 1st to 3rd. They're all going to add up. Somebody's going to get an auto spot because they caught a couple hits someplace. That's where leaving pins on the deck just can be super expensive.
Talked to Angie Erickson, who has gotten up early and watched a little bit of bowling this morning.
I'm surprised she's out of bed. Youth League's over at home. It's it's sleep-in time for Angie now.
How about Emily Kringle? She's made the super washout twice in one game.
She's probably asking Dad why she left it twice. They are over here screen left, though, having a very good conversation, and both have a smile on their face. So we know we're in the long game today.
Oh, that was great. All right, let's see here. Very slow as the pins already making the ball making contact with the pins on the super washout. Rush back to a mulling ball that he is definitely comfortable in. Chase may have thrown something different on that one as well, but he's in the 190s. And slowly but surely trying to lock up an auto spot to the finals for tomorrow. Avery, by the way, from Thunder Bay. And Ontario. Have you been to Canada, Matthew?
Well, I have. We when we went to USBC Open Championships in Syracuse, we kind of took the long way and went across Ontario and spent a couple of nights in Niagara Falls on both sides, the American and the Canadian side. And it's the only time I've been to Canada though was on that trip. But it was cool. It was fun. I mean, we were only there a couple of days, but yeah.
I like that. I like how you kind of got both sides involved in that situation.
Yeah, everybody, you know, just in the research we had done to go to Niagara Falls, everybody talked about how the Canadian side was more viewer pleasant than the American side. I mean, not that either side was bad, but so we got a hotel just a couple of blocks off the falls and spent a couple of days there. It's far more touristy on the Canadian side too, as far as like things to do. Mm-hmm. But no, it was a very pleasant experience. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Got to switch the car from miles per hour to kilometers per hour, and
yeah, that would throw me off.
Feel like you're driving really fast when you're not.
An interesting game, and as we mentioned, and Matthew specifically discussing the gutter with some hang on 11 and 12, and you know, Rush went to a ball change late in 9 and 10. I think he started with the ball that he had switched with when he moved to 11 and 12, and essentially he's balled back up. Speaking of Rush.
Great shot there by Carly. Really, really good shot. That's something shiny kind of going right to left, though. Like we saw Mari kind of start that today, and Carly's kind of got it to roll forward from there.
We saw Skylar Petts went to, you know, something shiny, something a little cleaner, kind of mid-block. Actually, earlier she did it like game 2 and had a little bit of a better look. The old thumbs up there from Jackson on that shot. It's been a tough game for him, especially after just shooting 260. But boy, that is bowling. Dustin checking in. Asking about the left side. You know, I had a better understanding of it yesterday with watching Kylie cook. And I do think there is some shape. Draven Cole, I was watching him bowl yesterday. His rev rate is very high, so he was just trying to figure out, you know, how far right maybe he needed to be with his feet, you know, to send it left. A little skee ball action in the background. That, you know, that's one of those jingles that just completely threw me off topic, but you always know when a skee ball machine is active.
Yes.
It's just got a very unique jingle. But there is shape, but I can't say there's shape off the gutter from the left because there haven't been that many lefties, and they haven't been that far left. Right. So, but I do think you could probably get your ball to shape off the gutter. I'd at least give it a try and practice if I was left-handed. I would see exactly how much room I had. I've seen more right-handed girls, though, kind of be in the zone that Leia Basevic is in and try to minimize the damage if you're playing further right and just kind of be around 15-ish. And if you can keep it online, hit the head pin, you got a good chance of having something good happen.
This is why you are a professional and as good as you are, because my answer to Dustin is Ashland's one of the best players in the country, She's gonna come in and figure it out.
It's also very true.
Bring 3 concepts, drill different ways, and and just go whack them like that. See that amateur, professional.
Also very true. I did consider the subject. How
Shoot.
about Rush here? Right, strike 9 spare, double gutter. Strike 9 spare, and he could cheat.
He got away from that shiny. It looked like he was in maybe an attention star that he put away, and now he's back to the gem. And it's just and I think that's probably the difference between Rush and Jackson, and it goes back to the numbers in the bowling ball, right? That the RG in that gem is so low, if it's going to do anything, it's going to roll out. It's never going to miss it. You know, it isn't going to miss it. Whereas I think that Revolt's probably just a little bit cleaner and created more over/under. See, that didn't miss it. If that was going to do anything, it was going to overhook. It was never going to underhook from there.
Rush recently making it publicly known that he is headed to Wichita State in the fall of 2027. Congratulations to not only Rush, but all of the youth bowlers who are making collegiate commitments, giving their verbals to these respective colleges and universities. If you just in the Midwest alone, or just thinking about the events that we see, Rush compete at, and other players around the country, Wichita State is Wichita State. They're always going to get players, but it looks like they're actually getting an influx of Midwesterners.
Yes, yes. Is Tyler a junior or a senior?
Tyler
is he
is
in this
a
class?
senior.
Okay, so he's a year older.
He's going to be in the fall of this year.
Yeah,
fall 2026.
I tell you what, and I did try to do a little homework before I came up today, and so if you've signed with somebody, hopefully I catch it, because I think that's a big deal to recognize those things. So if I didn't, I apologize. It wasn't an omission on purpose for sure. But yeah, there is just I'm going to talk about Rush's class specifically with Rush, 2027, and that class is loaded. that is eerily similar to the 2026 class for the girls, or 2025 class. Excuse me. The class that just is finishing their freshman season. I mean, that group of gentlemen is going to have the opportunity to be program changing for a lot of places, and ultimately on the professional level. That group is that good.
You know what's interesting about what you just said, right? And you look at the history of Wichita State, and obviously storied program. Mm-hmm. Arguably, and for many, it would be the best collegiate program ever. And yet they will have a class come in, and then coupled with those who will be returning, and then even including Tyler, who's going to start a little bit earlier with, is there Ernesto going this season? Ernesto Reynoso is also going to Wichita State for my
yeah,
memory is
that's
correct.
This year, because he's a year older than those guys.
So just think about the classes combined and how they could actually still change a program, even though it's Wichita State.
Right, yeah, that's
because they could win. I mean, Wichita State's got a few three-peats, at least one. I mean, they could three-peat in a couple of years. Who knows? All done on 11 and 12. Nice game by Rush. Kringle showing a lot of resolve through some adverse situations. He's had some troubles with single pins today. Made 2 super washouts. And at least has put herself in the game in the 170s here.
Yeah, sad thing for Emily is that she was already 100 back after 3, so she has a lot of ground to make up. And even just Leah shoots 2-0, she's at 750. The best Emily's going to get to is in the 640s. 640. So I mean, she's still going to be 100 plus back of the leader, but again, we're talking long game, right? And so just continue to shoot numbers with the amount of re-entries for girls. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of unique entries. I want to say there's 20, 28, 29-ish, something like that. So that top 12 is going to be comprised of ladies that bowl more than once. So continue to learn, continue to grind, and go grab one more game here on 11 and 12 and see what you can get up to from a total standpoint.
Well, watch a replay from Emily's second shot as she did strike out. Nice game, nice finish. And just kind of look at it. Now, if you watched, kept in mind where Leah Basevic was playing, which was really about 14-15, up the boards. Here you see Emily, and she is just a little further right. She's about 2 boards, maybe 3 further right than Leah Basevic. But same zone, same situation.
But I think Leah is in. It might be one of the rock stars. Maybe it's something that was just a little. Maybe it's a phase 2. Something a little cleaner, a little shinier, to where that ball is almost laying down at the spot, whereas Emily's ball is reading the spot, and I think that's probably where she caught a little more over/under, which led to a couple of the super washouts because you get just a pinch right, and it does miss it, and it doesn't pick up.
Makes it very interesting.
Well, Leah's been very accurate too, which doing what she's doing, you have to be very accurate to get the ball through the pins correctly.
I do think it's one of her superpowers.
Yeah, she's really good.
An extremely accurate player. I'd be interested, if she were to, and she may have done this before, but like if you go to any of your favorite training centers, or if someone has a center with Specto or something where you can track, the accuracy to the board, how many times she could hit the board or whatever her target is at the arrows, at the break point. How many times can she do it? How many times in a row? I think her percentages would be very high. Mr. McConaughey has joined us, and he will be with me all day today as well as tomorrow. If you got any questions about, again, the format, where a particular player might be bowling, later today, or I should say the last 2 squads, 1:30 p.m. Central and 6:30 p.m. Central, we'll have a few more lanes up and running, and the cross will be a little bit different as well. I think we'll get into the skipping 1 pair as opposed to just moving 1 pair with more bowlers, making sure they don't hit the same pairs of such. So we'll tell you all about that, obviously, when we get to it this afternoon. The players will be finishing at least 1 pair left, further left, or 1 pair to their left, excuse me, than where they started. So one player or group we haven't seen right now, 5 and 6, and that's because 3 and 4. They're on 3 and 4. They're finishing up. So on the girls' side of things, let's see. We said, it was a 1-pin situation after 2 games. Then it was a handful of pins after 3 games. With respect to, no, I think you said it was 60 pins between first and fourth. I think you said
like 6th.
Or 6th.
It was tight.
And Basevic did have the lead after 3 games.
Yeah, through 3, Leah was at 555, and in 6th place was Kiera Kruger at 494. So that's 61. With 2 games to go. Now, Leah did herself a favor and went plus game 4, which is certainly not going to hurt her. And I know Emily Whitehead, who was in 2nd, was struggling last game.
I'm going to bring it off topic just briefly here. Are you an NFL football fan?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Do you have a team?
I'm a Vikings guy.
Okay.
Fortunately or unfortunately.
Are you paying attention to any draft news and notes?
Well, I did. I stayed awake. I'm kind of an early to go to bed guy. I stayed awake till 9 o'clock to watch us pick on. Yeah, I stayed away to watch our pick on on Thursday night because 9 o'clock's about time for bed anyway, so that worked out about right. I'm no NFL GM, so I'm not going to question the decision, but I'm going to question the decision. Why you draft a 325-pound defensive tackle with foot problems in your first pick, I'm not quite sure. Hopefully that works out for us, but we'll find.
Was that the Caleb Downs pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll find out. But anyway.
Well, I'm a fan of the Chicago Bears. Great pick yesterday, or day one, excuse me. They did not pick any defensive players in round 2, which was a little surprising, I think, to some. They picked at least what? They picked a center.
They got the best center in the draft.
Well, they picked a center, which was a need because Drew Dahlman had retired. Had to make a quick trade to grab the Patriots starting center, and so you still anticipate that gentleman to start. And then I really felt like this is how I knew that Ben Johnson was our coach, because then they picked a tight end.
Another one. Another one.
Like DJ Cal. Another one. And so I'm like, oh, okay. That's when I really knew that Ben Johnson is the head coach. I do like the wideout selection, but I was hoping for an edge rusher, personally.
We were actually at the OP last night for dinner with a couple friends of ours, and my one buddy Chris, he is a big Bears guy. So I was excited to see Logan Jones from Iowa go to that spot. I'd have loved to have him in Minnesota, but he could play some guard for you too. And then he made the same comment you did. He's like, Ben Johnson's our guy because we just took another tight end.
Johnson
it just at 100%,
without question. And as you just said, right? I'm not that smart, and I'm sure.
I didn't say you weren't that smart. I said I wasn't that smart.
No, I'm saying that. Hey, I'm not an NFL GM, but I will say, probably game 8, that dude probably scores a touchdown.
Right.
And then we go, yep, now it makes sense.
On some absolutely intricate lineup, it's going to be something wacky. It's just so innovative. It's cool to watch all of the innovation in the NFL, really, just the different nuance of the rules and that kind of stuff.
All right, so we're on 7 and 8. They're about halfway home, waiting for the score update. So as 3 and 4 completes their game, 5 and 6 will be our essential final pair. They will be last to be done. It's the only pair today with 6 this morning, and should have a little bit of a break before the 1:30 p.m. squad. Wanted to get Chase's the correct pronunciation of his last name. It is McVicker. I want to know more about Braden's musical background, right? Because there's no way he's just got music clefs and sheet music on his jersey for no reason. And he didn't have a bio for him, so I'm gonna have to ask him after this. Because now I'm curious what instrument he plays. Is he in the concert band? Is he
maybe
in the
he's
jazz
a choir
band?
kid. Maybe he's not a player at all. Maybe he's a singer.
Maybe he just loves musical notes and how they look, which is also possible. Nice from Kringle.
Winona, Minnesota, where Braden hails from.
Young Caleb.
You're going to have to ask him soon because he's not bowling again today. He's all done. This is his last block. Unless he, well, no, because I was going to say the next 2 are full, so there's no re-enter there either. So
A little bit of a ball change there for Leoposevic and a fist pump on the Brooklyn.
Chase is probably chasing that, no pun intended, just a little too left or right. Just got to be just a little more squared up, just a little too steep, I think.
Question for you, Matthew.
Sir.
I've seen under home bowling center great escape for a couple players. Does that center sound familiar to you?
It is. That is I believe it's a Bolero-owned center now in, gosh, what's the name of the town? It's just on the north side of Des Moines. It's between Des Moines and Ankeny. Pleasant Hill maybe is where that center is located. Couple different high schools bowl out of that center too. I believe Southeast Polk is one of them. So Caleb over here on 11 and 12, he's going to Hawkeye too. He's a Southeast Polk kid.
Correct.
Keegan is a Southeast Polk kid too. Yeah, so that's north side of Des Moines.
Was that the school without the actual high school team?
No, Southeast Polk is the high school team. Caleb, jeepers. I'm staring at Caleb. Keegan goes to PCM, which is in Prairie City.
Take it anyway, Avery. We'll take that 5-pin conversion. Hunter gave it a run. Hunter was close. Let's see if our scores are updated as of yet.
Great minds think alike. I was just hitting refresh myself. Looks like they're working on him, getting closer.
So after watching Chase here for this entire squad, essentially a lot of game, a lot of talent, and he looks like he's just kind of in between, right? And so, assuming he gets a spot in the finals, watching his progress tomorrow. Don't want to skip ahead, but just trying to think about it. That's got to hook a lot. Wow.
I thought that was plastic when he picked it up, and then he threw it like that. So
he could be very dangerous come finals time.
Anytime you take a national caliber player, and we're going to have a few of those yet this afternoon that are junior Team USA players too, but you take somebody that's had the opportunity to bowl on an international stage, and just the trials and tribulations that come with that. Yeah, you're going to come into an event like this and have the opportunity to be successful for sure. For sure. The big moment probably doesn't make you quite as nervous as some of the others.
Yes, indeed. That is where the experience comes into play. Savannah shouting you out. Also to Kylie as well, or Kylie Joss' mom. Micah Jensen. Speaking of collegiate commitments, he's headed to who are now the reigning men's intercollegiate team champions, St. Ambrose Fighting Bees. Hello to the Jensen family. Like again, set to bowl today as well.
Amy Oden's in the chat giving me a Skull Vikings. I appreciate that. Aiden is bowling tonight. He's got kind of a famous older sister. She kind of did some wild things at Wichita this year with Alicia. Had a fantastic junior season.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, how about that?
Breaking news, I guess.
I enjoy learning about the family histories, or the lineage that I may not have known about.
Yeah.
But I've watched. Listen.
Yeah, Alicia had a fantastic season this year. Gosh.
And I think Mom will probably know what I'm about to say. It's been a long time since I've seen somebody just literally be on automatic. And I've never had so much fun calling a match between Wichita State and Vanderbilt. Spot to, or the match to earn the final spot to the show to bowl Jacksonville State. And I'm not sure Vanderbilt could have bowled any better.
No, that was sick. That was sick.
And sometimes, which is very rare in bowling, happens a lot during the team, an individual team, and you know this from watching mega matches or individual games where, one player can carry a team. You can shoot 250 and carry a team to a win.
Yep.
And Baker's a little different because, no matter how lined up an anchor player might be, it still may not matter if the team above, right, didn't set the table.
Yep.
Right, didn't give them an opportunity. But that day it didn't matter. It just did not matter. Because Alicia Oden literally didn't miss. It was so fun to see.
She put that blue ball in her hand, and it just didn't matter. Like you could just count on it. It was going to be 10. Like that was very compelling to watch. That's yeah, that was a ton of fun. And I guess I'm probably a little biased. It's pretty cool to see an Iowa kid on that stage, and so many, like the way Iowa high school bowling works. Like so many players, parents, fans, whatever, they don't know, they don't understand high level NCAA bowling. So for an Iowa kid like that to be able to showcase some of that is just amazing, just amazing.
Council Bluffs, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She went to Lewis Central High School, which would be a 2A school in the great state of Iowa. I can't remember. Yeah, Lewis Central, I believe. They'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 95% sure it's Lewis Central.
All right, we got scores after 4 games. And it is Leah Basevic's to lose at this point, and she doesn't look like she's willing to give up the lead. 7:56 for 4 games with Kiara Kruger. The closest, Kruger again in the mix for a spot. But it's important for Kruger to continue to stay strong and finish strong. And her total still might be high enough to get herself to the finals. In the boys division, Jackson Dias still 22 over, and he's got the lead, followed by Chase McVicker at 784. He is -16. Rushteen third, but Rush again already with a spot, but still trying to improve his total, which ultimately could help his seeding just looking ahead from the finals perspective if he happens to get into the top 8 when all is said and done tomorrow. Hunter Steimel would be next in line, followed by, at this point, then Keegan Steingrave, with Braden Patton and Hunter Stickles still with some opportunities to sneak into the top 4 with 1 game to go. This is when Emily Kringle's run kind of started during game 5, and next thing you know, good start to the game. She goes 5-bagger in the middle of the game with 2 frames left. She's got a chance to take the lead late. And then she left just a brutal 7-pin in the 9th frame. It's a good shot there from young Hunter.
He's going to give himself a chance if he can figure out how to get it out of this game. Get the end of this game, you know, kind of figured out. See if he can make a little run here in the back half. Get 3 of the last 4, something like that, to make a little run. Good shot from Dane right there. That's a brutal 9-pin. That was hands down the best shot he's made this game for sure. Really, really good.
Seen a few 9-pins on lanes 9 and 10. Good shot, Braden. Taking advantage of that slower ball speed with something a little cleaner. Folks, if you wouldn't mind to hit the thumbs up on this video, make sure you subscribe to Bowlstream TV. But you just got to be almost perfect in the middle part of the lane.
That's got to be just a little frustrating for Laurel too. That looked like a really good shot that just didn't really shape, didn't really see it. But I think trajectory-wise, I thought that was pretty good. I thought it was going to be good down lane, and just kind of wiggled on her.
Seven and 8 already done. They're the first to complete their 5-game block, and high score over there to note, Austin Olderwood, I think, with 187. And Austin had a lot of work to do to try to sneak into the top 4. See if 187 will help. Well, you just fast track ahead, and I think Leia, right? Did she just start high school this year, or is it next year still?
It seems like she's been on the stage for a couple of years now, so I would like to think she's been in high school, but I'm not sure.
Let me. I should know that. Yeah, she's in 8th grade.
Gee whiz.
She is. She's going to be a freshman in the fall. But I'm sure the college coaches have already put her down in the notebook.
Well, and that's another recruiting thing to where, you know, some of the NAIA, USBC, NJCAA schools, they can start talking to her, and they can create that relationship now, whereas the NCAA schools are handcuffed. They can't talk to her until her – I want to say they can talk to the parents as sophomores, but they can't talk to the player until sometime in their junior year. And it just said – I don't know. Got to figure out a way to even some of that out.
Well, here's the thing about Leia. Okay. A couple things really that stand out. One, how she got started. And I quote, "I randomly decided to join the middle school league in 5th grade because nobody has ever done it before." And she averaged 89. Now, I don't know if that's a typo or not. You know, I don't know if it's supposed to be 189 or 89. I'm not sure. Okay, that was just 3 years ago.
Right.
Okay, just FYI, right? So I don't know if it was 89. I could lean toward 189, but if it was 89, that would be even more impressive.
But 189 for a 5th grader female, that's a big number.
We got to ask the parents.
So I think 89 is probably right.
You're
And it's a testament to what she's doing now. Like
89.
Shout out to the BPAA. At least that's the way it works in Iowa with the middle school bowling program. Just establishing that. That's it's a great stepping stone if you want to learn.
Well, I will say in Rockford, which is where she's from, you know, they kind of set the standard in high school bowling and middle school bowling.
Okay.
And I think a lot of programs follow Rockford's lead. Because I always wondered, man, how are the Rockford high school bowlers so good? Every school in Rockford has a really good bowling team. And even the surrounding areas like Hononegah, for example. And then finally, I think I was having a conversation with the wonderful John Summer, and who was responsible for, again, high school bowling, middle school bowling. Also had a major part in the PWBA, and Rockford being the headquarters of the tour for so long.
Okay, sure.
And he talked to me about the grassroots, or essentially the development of the middle school program, which obviously then directly feeds into the high school programs. And it all clicked for me, right? The players are just starting at a much earlier age.
Sure.
Right, getting better quickly, earlier. All the things we talk about with youth bowling, but at the middle school level, right, in Rockford. And then also in the state of Wisconsin, they too have a middle school leagues, state championships.
Yep.
Etc.
Iowa does too.
And as you just said, Iowa, which I did not know.
Yep, Iowa does too.
And then since then, of course, Leia has become a 3-time Pepsi state champ. Speaking of middle school, yeah, she's won the state bowling sectionals 2 years in a row. She was a couple of matches away from making a show at Junior Gold. Bowled in the U15 as a 13-year-old. But she's very clear about what colleges she wants to attend.
Okay.
I would like to go to Vanderbilt or Jacksonville State.
Well, man, I don't know if they're going to call or not. Gee whiz, you might have to work a little bit. No, that's a total joke if anybody didn't catch that sarcasm. She has got physical tools now that are very, very excellent. Very excellent. Knowing she's only an 8th grader, like, just watching her get stronger, you know, just kind of growing into herself, so to speak. She's got so many physical tools. She didn't end that game quite like she wanted to, going 9 out, 9 out a couple of times, but yeah, she has some very, very excellent physical tools right now.
A young Caleb here going to finish in the 180s. He's headed to Again, Hawkeye Community College. He'll take that. His favorite bowler is Anthony Simonson. Let's see where Caleb is, just to make sure he doesn't. He would have needed a lot of help there, so probably not enough for Caleb to sneak into the top 4. Now, same thing for Mr. Sickles there. He won't be able to finish this game.
Great shot. Man.
I tell you, yesterday, you know, watching Laurel, brutal break. But when she hit the pocket, she struck almost every single time.
Yeah, that was tremendous. That was a cleaner bowling ball. I don't know what she went to, man. It looks like maybe a Zero Mercy Pearl. But yeah, just a cleaner bowling ball and shape down lane. It wasn't any better than the shot she threw over there before. That was tremendous.
Micah, we had that same question with respect to the lefties, and yeah, the sample size, as you know, being a left-hander, has just been very small. There hasn't been a ton of lefties come through, so it's kind of been difficult to decipher what's working and what's not. But I can tell you, I do think there is hook off the gutter, and I've seen it because some players have kind of accidentally fell into it. But maybe with the understanding or the not understanding how they can get there consistently and kind of make that work. Braden's going to finish with 167. There's no doubt about it, folks. This pattern has provided some trickiness. It is difficult. There have been some players who figured out a way to score. But just when you feel like you're comfortable, you get to the next pair, they don't play quite the same, and you find yourself giving back, you know, sometimes between 70 and 80 pins that you just picked up in a game. Well, Chase got to be careful here. Right now, he is in a great position to get an auto spot in the top 4. And make sure he spares this up. It's all done on 11 and 12. 7 got to 916 for 5. That's a pretty good score. All things considered at minus 84.
Micah, just bring your hyperdrive and your concept. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, you're right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it too much.
Just treat it like Eastway and everything will be good. Yeah.
Trust your eyes.
That's right. That's right.
I'll reintroduce the graph and the pattern.
Hopefully that 6 isn't important.
Yeah, that's where you get into, you know, when you got some auto spots available.
Yeah. Because I don't know that I necessarily like that total. I don't know if that total is going to be any good, but being in the top 4 here, that could be an instrumental shot right there. So we haven't done it yet, but we got Maryville in the chat.
Do it.
Ainsley's watching. Savannah, my close to probably favorite New Yorker. I don't know. It's probably a tie between her and Lexi.
Is this Savannah Swataka?
It is Savannah Swataka.
Nailed that pronunciation after I asked her 1,800 times throughout the season. Again, so there's that pattern. It's what the players have been bowling on so far through 2 squads, excuse me. It's what they're going to continue to bowl on through the next couple of squads and certainly into tomorrow's finals. It's been, again, as mentioned, tricky. Obviously high volume, as you can see, at 33.45. 40 feet. One thing that Matthew pointed out early was the no buff. Not even a ton of reverse. I'm sorry, forward, excuse me.
No, and all that reverse is probably a testament to why it's kind of held up as much as it has. And we haven't seen full pairs yet. So it'll be interesting to see this afternoon with more traffic, new skip. You know, you're going to be chasing different players now. So that I think the way things change from here on out will be different than what we've seen, what you guys saw last night and what we saw this morning. Pace will be a little bit slower just because we will have full pairs. This is our only pair of 6 that's still bowling now.
You told a good story about Maya earlier, right? From
Yeah,
not bowling a ton.
As a high school sophomore, she was not a bowler, and the West High girls team in Waterloo was struggling for numbers, and she decided to come out, and ultimately she was a varsity player after never knowing what a bowling ball was that first season. Just from a number standpoint, and the amount of effort and work that she's put into her game over the last couple of years. Again, if you want to bowl collegiately and you're a girl specifically, there are opportunities for you whether you think you're good enough or not. Like, don't let your inhibitions decide your outcome. So yeah, she's off to Clark now, and yeah, it's like I say, it's Brooke Green over there, good coach, good program, you know, aspiring program. They made ITC sectionals this year.
They did.
So I mean, they've got some things working for them, and like I say, it's another opportunity for you to continue your education if you're going to go to college anyway. Whether or not you're going to get a scholarship, but go enjoy the opportunities that intercollegiate athletics can give you.
Thank you, Gentry, for watching today. And you can watch for the rest of the day and certainly tomorrow. Just to reiterate, let's kind of recap scores. Well, we can't now because many are already in the books, but I can tell you some of the finals and how they might relate. I do think Leia's 916 is a winner for the girls auto qualifier of this particular squad. I think in front of us, all Hunter Steinwell has to do is, you know, finish strong, have a solid game, and I think he's going to get his auto spot to the finals. Let's see. Other scores are being entered. Jackson Dice probably led.
Yeah, Chase certainly didn't catch him with 158. That's for yeah, I'm sure that's probably safe. Rush is done. I don't know what Rush shot the last game. Hunter and Keegan are both still bowling. They're on the same pair. And Braden would have needed to have was 120 back of the lead after 4, so that didn't happen. So yeah, I would think Jackson's probably safe. Sands, yeah, even Hunter was 100 back after 4. So I would have to think unless Rush got him, you know, and then he was still 50 back, so he would have had to have a really big game.
That group's still bowling over on 3 and 4.
I forget about them because they're the only ones that you can't see. Sorry about that.
The next squad coming up 1:30 p.m. Central. That's 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. Let's schedule to bowl according to the last updated roster for 1:30. Let's see. Mari Firehelm, that would be 3 squads in a row for her, including last night. Alexis Hyde, Megan Hooniker, Addison Johnson scheduled to bowl again. Katie Kirshner, Lee Kringle. As of what I'm looking at currently, Rylan Lessinger, McKenna, and Morgan Morales. It's a very good duo right there from Northwest Indiana. They can play. Laurel Peters against Skylar Petts. She bowled last night. Savannah Portillo for the first time. Jocelyn Van Allen, Ashlyn Watkins Schoenig. In boys division, Peyton Beer, Brett Biondo, Landon Davidson, Gabriel Donath, Lucas and Tyrus Drisdale. Joseph Evenson, who we saw last night, bowled pretty well. Cameron Failer bowled pretty solid last night. Theron Geringer, Keaton Hartwig, Caden Heitritter, Kyler Hempstead, Cooper Holm, Will Hudson, as mentioned, Micah Jensen, Tatum Lee, Taylor Lindner, Gavin Luzum, Emmett Lyon, Jackson McCauley, Devin Miskiski. We're actually going to have some really good left-handed players right off the top.
Yeah, talent level's going up this afternoon.
We have Neil, Austin Olderoth's going to bowl again. Caden Oltman, Tyler Paulus, Chase Petschel, Micah Poisser, Max Priest, Kenneth Robinson, Grady Sabelka, Bradley Scheisse, Carson Schilling, Sam Schaefer, Hunter Steimel again, Kyle Strain, Declan Tucker, and Reeve Vader. Been watching and hearing his name a lot as of late. Sebi Vetter, Noah Waters, Joss Weems, Drew Winterscheidt. It's your 130 according to the last updated roster that I had.
Yeah, and that's a sold-out squad, so there won't be any re-entries to that. It'll just be a matter if everybody shows up or not.
I don't think something quite fits right for Maya. She was going to attempt her spare on the split conversion on lane 6 in the previous frame. Nearly kind of got stuck, right? So kind of balked, had to come back, took her wrist device off. And I feel like maybe some just isn't quite feeling the same now.
She had a thing this season a little bit with her hand where her hand would get too dry. And so then she would either get forced into really grabbing it and just she couldn't ever get out of it. Like her hand would just get to a point where like it was just she couldn't clear it. Which sounds weird, but it's what happened.
Sure, understand.
So yeah, she had that issue a couple different times through the high school season, and so I'm sure that's just it's gonna be something Coach Green's gonna have to work through as far as a fit change maybe, or some kind of process change to make sure that doesn't happen, because she would go with the whacker, sometimes without the whacker, like just because of being able to clear it and being able to get her hand off it.
That is one thing to just fit in general, right? I think sometimes can kind of fly under the radar, if you will, right? Especially at this age where, players are consistently, just maturing, physically. So the hands are changing at a faster pace in many cases. When you hit those growth spurts, they kind of throw things off. Couple frames left before we officially close the book on squad number 2. Looks like Coach is going to have, Coach Steen that is, will have, you can check all 3 tabs at the bottom with the 3 squads for today. We'll have the total combined tallies at the very end, of course, tonight. Chase finished with 952. I'm looking for scores in the 900s. 952 Chase in the boys division. Of course, 916 from Leah Basevic in the girls division. She's got the auto spot there. And obviously a few still left to go, including Hunter Steimel. Notice Hunter's had a game late in the block now, both days. That he shot 131, unfortunately, in Game 4. Had something similar happen to him yesterday in Game 5. It kind of took him out of the running for a top 4 spot. So for him, he must be seeing something on, I guess what, he was on 3 and 4 this game. Shoot, it might have been 3 and 4 yesterday. Now that I think about it. wants to make sure he finishes this game strong. Because you just never know, right? If you can get an automatic spot, that's the one you want.
For sure, for sure.
You want the guaranteed spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want the sweat at 9:30 tomorrow night to know if I made it or not. Or tonight, rather. Sorry. Yeah, this is another spot where, you know, Hunter's still kind of young. He's a sophomore going into his junior year, just finishing up his sophomore year now. Making sure some of that frustration is determination. You know, making sure that an opportunity to kind of lock in here and really understand kind of what's at stake and grind out these last 2 frames as opposed to hanging on the 8th, right? All right, that one's done. You can't change it. Let's go make the next best one we can.
Keegan was still in the running too.
I would say we're getting into kind of must-have territory, I think, for Keegan. He's just kind of guessing around, looking at numbers. I'm guessing if you're at 900, you're probably going to make the top 4.
Yeah, if right now if we just use Chase's score as the barometer, Keegan came in at 717 for 4. Right, so 235 would have gotten him to 952. Obviously not going to get there. So if he can get to, what's that, 177 he can finish at? That'd put him at 894. Hunter was at 748.
Hunter's at 901 now through the hole.
Oh, thank you. Yep, there it is.
That's got a hook. Okay. Oh.
Wow.
It's a lot of 9. A lot of 9.
Folks, if you plan on watching some additional squats today, and you're curious about something, you know, Matthew and I ran through a few topics. Some certainly related to what we've been watching with lane conditions, and some just bowling related in general. We'll be talking more about obviously what's in front of us, but the varying changes to this lane condition. All right, so now Mark in the 10th, and good count puts him in the 180s. Speaking of Hunter, probably still okay. I think 930 would probably be good, assuming that Jackson Dice did finish, even if he didn't go plus. And now Jackson's 5-game total is complete, so only player to go plus today, Jackson Dice at 1026. So he would be 1 in the boys division. Rush got to 916, but he got an auto spot. Most importantly for Rush, though, he did improve on his total yesterday.
Because it's the first. Once you get your auto, that's it, right? So it doesn't like his second score being better means his auto from yesterday changes.
Yeah, he's still in the finals.
Yeah, okay.
But I think he's in the finals now with a new total.
Gotcha, okay.
With a higher total, if that
Sure.
makes sense.
Yep.
And then, but we have to, again, we're not including Rush for this exercise. So it might just jump to Chase at 952, probably Hunter Steimel. And then it could be Keegan.
Big shot right here. Bang, got her. First one.
Yeah, that was a really good shot. I think he knows, too.
I don't want to say the second one locks him in, but just kind of looking at numbers, I think the second one could be pretty important. You know, get to 890, I think that could be a big deal. Nice thing for Chase is that 6 isn't going to hurt him.
This is a great bowling alley, too, by the way. And thank you, Miss McVicker, for watching. He looks like Chase, that is, should be in. It's got to get up the hill. It won't. Thank you, DT, for watching as well. This look, someone mentioned this earlier too. And with respect to like the look of the bowling center, just the, it's different. And there's a university named Trine who has a similar look, right? And shout out to Cubica AMF. I mean, there's so many things you can request now with respect to what the lanes actually look like, what color you want, what color do you want your approaches to be. If you want to really kind of make it cool and in a bowling center and have some fun with that, you can. Trine has something similar. I think theirs is a little, I want to say, I can't remember what color their approaches are.
It's like blue, isn't it?
I think it might be like a Trine-ish.
Yeah.
Just some bluish, like offsetting color. But yeah, I like it. Probably takes a little getting used to from the eyes, right? But once your eyes adjust, you're typically in good shape there. One of our 8th graders.
Come on, get one.
That's right. Do some good here for Braxton. Mr. Caleb. Finishing it out. Let's see. Young Caleb Sorensen finishing it out with the Hook 50 over there and a solid ending. Braxton wants to end on a positive note. So does Hunter, though. I think he's in based on that 9+ already. There we go.
Good shot. Good finish.
For Braxton to go back to school and show his friends. Look at me on TV. Sometimes you just got to gloat. Go to school and you got to be that guy for a day. He's got good form. Gets low to the ground.
Little Simo-ish, almost not quite parallel, but yeah.
It's the little things, like you just progress that out like in a couple years.
Just getting stronger. I mean, 8th grader, just grow into that body a little bit. Get a little stronger, get a little thicker. Yeah, big deal.
Okay, so Hunter, did we see Hunter's final tally?
He went 5-3, 5-4.
All right, so let's just say 914-ish.
I was gonna say, yeah, less than 920, but greater than 910.
Okay, so Jackson Dias, Chase McVicker, got to be Hunter Steimel there, and got to be probably Keegan. I didn't check his official tally. I think he got to 880 something.
880 exactly.
Okay.
880. So
yeah.
I don't know. Well, and all these scores are complete down here.
And I don't think Hunter, Hunter Stickles. Oof. Boy, Hunter might have just missed it. Stickles, that is. He finished at 874.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're in their clubhouse. So. And Hunter was already ahead of anybody else on his pair, including Keegan. Yeah, I think Keegan's probably going to be your 5th place, but with Rush already being in, I think he's going to be your last automatic qualifier off this shift.
Indeed.
And 880, again, product of the numbers on the squad, how many there were. Like 880 could very easily be the smallest qualifying score we see.
Well, we'll certainly find out here in a moment. You can follow, if you're not following Mr. Brandon Steen, you should be. He's been posting all of the updates with respect to scores after the fact. He will post prior to each squad as well. We appreciate you. So make sure you follow Brandon Steen. I will also share the results on the Bullstream TV Facebook page as well. So go ahead and give me a follow also, and keep you updated with respect to the standings from that regard also. We'll be back here in a little under 2 hours at this point. So I'm going to enjoy this break, get some lunch, and when we come back, we will have a full squad. 3 through 16 will be going. There's going to be some additional high-level players in the mix. And when we talk about lane play at 1:30, I think we'll be talking about it in a little bit of a different light this time, because the transition is probably going to be a little bit different, and perhaps for the better for the field as a whole. We'll certainly find out in a little bit. Matthew, any final thoughts from you?
Great morning session. I think it's going to really kind of lead us into what we're going to see this afternoon. I think you're right. Your analysis is spot on. It's going to look different this afternoon. The talent level is going to go up. The lane play is going to be different. It's going to be the third time of the oil pattern going down in competition. I think we're setting up for a very exciting afternoon. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And we will see you back here at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. So for a wonderful tournament staff led by Brandon Steen, who is running this event on behalf of course, Vern, Quentin, Russell, and everybody involved with Kingpin Entertainment. Of course, all of the sponsors: Perry Novak Electric Construction, Build Momentum, Kroll, Matthew Construction, Ziegler Cat, BRP, and Bruning Incorporated, and of course also Skyline Motorsports. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll see you back here 1:30 p.m. Central Time, and like a good tournament, they are on time when they start. They even start a little early, so keep that in mind. We'll see you then. For Matthew McConaughey, my name is Emil Williams Jr. We say so long for now. This has been Squad 2 of the Iowa Youth High Roller Scholarship Tournament. Watch it live and only on Bullstream TV.